Let's ride!
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council podcast. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, along with my co-host, the one and only, make Xbox great again, Hargeet Chani.
Yeah. So another week of I was out in LA still working and I'm tired, but whatever. I finally came back yesterday morning. So it was a long trip, but man, the weekend was so good. Those showcases were awesome. Summer Game Fest was great. We did talk about it right afterwards with the Xbox showcase as well. Free Xbox for all of us fans. Good stuff. And then Xbox imploded. But hey, that's a different story.
But did they really? We're going to get into that.
We'll get into that fun.
Yeah. Some people would like to think they did, but not so
yes,
fast.
Of course. Is Xbox dead again?
Yeah. Sorry, Dreamcast guy. Ooh, we had Dreamcast guy emojis in the chat for his bad takes. Anyway, so we also have two special guests, one recurring guest who's been on numerous times, which we love having him on, and then one guest who's never been here before. So this is so exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Corkenstein, the man that delivers and picks you up and takes you air places. I'm just kidding. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. Yeah, man, doing pretty good. Really, really well. Yeah, I live here and I'm exhausted from all the festivities from last week. It was a lot of fun. It's always good. Like I said, I absolutely love seeing everybody making all the hype chains. I still have to send some out. So if you are looking for one, I will be sending them out to you. I had a different project I was working on. I actually got it right here. It's the new Cyclops mask from Marvel Rivals.
Nice.
So he just released like 2 or 3 days ago. So yeah, I got that going. So I just wanted to finish that up, and then I'm going to start the hype chains again. I think I have and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, looking forward to getting those wrapped up and sending to all the awesome content creators out there.
Awesome.
So speaking of hype chain, before we move forward,
okay,
Corkenstein gave one to Aaron, and then Aaron put that around Asha's neck.
Yeah.
Taking pictures. She's like, what is this?
It was awesome.
Great. But yes, shout out to Corkenstein for creating something that actually became part of a meme of freaking Xbox at the Fan Fest. It was great. It was hilarious to watch.
Yeah, and I talked to her too. I talked to her and I was like, I heard you like the hype chain. She's like, oh my God, that was you. I loved it. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks. And stuff like that. So it was a cool little conversation with her. But yeah, I was pretty stoked when Mag sent me the video.
Yeah, so cool. Now you got to make one just for her, and this time fix it. It's all cap Xbox.
In all caps this time, yeah.
Exactly. Like the Empress at the top, and just kidding. All right, so and of course, first time being on the show, and he has been a huge part of the community for a long time. And usually, he's on the website, but he's going to tell you a little bit more about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jones, my favorite Iron Lord. I'll tell you that right now. Lord Chris, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
Pretty good. Glad to be here. You were right about, Cork being the delivering guy. I mean, I mentioned this last night, shout out to Cork and Mo and Wagersman for all the hard work and picking everybody up for the airport, essentially saving everybody some expensive Uber trips. So shout out to Cork. Shout out to Dave, allowing me to room with him this year. Absolutely amazing guy. And Hargeet doesn't get a lot of enough credit. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes that not a lot of people know about. So shout out to Hargeet. As for myself, community manager, lordsofgaming.net, write, review, a little bit of everything. I try to be the unique guy for the website. So you might see stuff talking about Halo on PlayStation. You might see Xbox imploding. You might see God of War, Lowry, whatever. But then you got me, bringing community group articles together, bringing out the uniqueness for the website, trying to make us stand out amongst the rest. And I'm glad to be here on the Gamers Council, as I was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. So apologies for that. But
No worries.
I was sick, and I was trying not to be like the day one guys and, go to the event and get everyone sick. So here we are, ready to get into these topics.
Fantastic. Chris, like I said, it really is. I'm glad you are here. And kind of like you had said, and I know even Cog mentioned it again today, there's a lot of people that were a big shout out to behind the scenes, because the community, which all of us are part of, is absolutely fantastic. It was great. I mean, Hargeet and others that really, helped get the list together of whenever all the flights were coming in and all that good stuff I wouldn't even thought about. But that way it made it organized and easier for Cork, Wagerman, and others to help get people around where they needed to be. It was just nice not having to worry about getting an Uber to get to your first, thing. Oh, we took some Ubers the rest of the week, which was absolutely wonderful. But to be able to come in and then kind of hang out. I rode with Wagerman. He picked me up, and he had Jez Corden in the car with him already. So I got to hang out and talk to Jez ahead of time. That was great. Got a lot of insight from him just in the car ride. So that was cool. So it's the kind of things in the community that really mean a lot. And then, like I said, you did a lot of great interviews. I've heard there's a lot more stuff that you're going to be trickling in over the next month or so with the reports and all stuff, and plus a lot of stuff that you guys got to go to and see has a certain dated time stuff that you can before you can talk about it. So you can't spill all the beans now. Although you're probably like going, ooh, I can already. Oh, I guarantee you that's going to be on it. So, but guys, welcome out. We've got over 124 people watching us live right now on X and on YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. And Hargeet, also, I know this is kind of like your first official show back, right? Since the trip.
Yeah.
And so basically, we've got his thoughts all to us. Just kidding. I'm kidding. But I am glad that you made it back tonight. So thank you so much for being here. And where would you like to start first, my friend?
Well, I mean, we had another show. Let's talk about that. I don't know if all of you got to watch the Nintendo Direct, but there was yet another show from a major platform, and theirs came in on Tuesday, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's talk about that. I don't know if we want to show some of the list of games or whatever, but did all of you get a chance to watch it?
I did. I watched it a couple times.
I got the Cliff Notes. I did not get to watch it in person, but I got the Cliff Notes.
There you go. There's a lot of good Cliff Notes. Actually, Hargeet, while I'm trying to pull that list up, it may take me a minute. If you want to, there's a couple of gifted members and I believe a super chat.
Oh, yeah, we have some supers and stuff, right? Let's go.
And it doesn't look like TTS is working, although we did test it ahead of time and everything worked fine.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes. Happens.
Okay, and as usual, WebDave gets 5 WebDave memberships. And then somebody we got to meet in real life, FARK QUE, gives 5 WebDave memberships. Safe and sound, back at home, FARK QUE, right? He was there sort of visiting after the showcases and whatnot. He was visiting LA.
Yeah.
And, he also left at about the same time I did.
He did.
And he's finally back home. All right, and then
FARK QUE. I mean, sorry. Anyway.
Stone King X, $10. What's up, folks still mad at Gears of War E-Day only on Xbox and PC, not on PS5. So emotional. Xbox doesn't owe PlayStation anything. TTS.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. It's all to them to do whatever they want. One of the topics is what happened at Halo, but yeah, we'll get into that one.
We will. We have a lot of thoughts about all that kind of stuff. That is for sure. I'm not. I have some things bookmarked, Hargeet, and I'm not finding what I need to find. I know there's even a clip of the new thing, but I'm going to continue to dig. I'm going to do a search for the actual Nintendo site there. So let me look up that. But you can go ahead and start. Maybe I don't know if we can find that. I know it was a YouTube video on like not the whole show, but I mean I think to just show.
Yeah, let's stay away from doing any freaking Nintendo videos because they will strike you in a millisecond.
No,
they're just absolutely terrible. Yeah, they're terrible about that. I'll just give you the link to the IGN article. That's probably like good enough. It'll give us a so there you go. You can throw that up if you want. But look, I mean, the main line was that they do have a remake of Ocarina of Time, which looked decent. It didn't look as it looked better than I'd expected. But hey, it's not like if people have seen the UE5 fan remake. Or UE, I don't think it's 5, maybe it was just 4, but the UE fan remake of Ocarina, that looks better. That does not look like. So this is somewhere in between. Still, I think it's a pretty good effort. I think it looks like it's something cool. Now, if nobody's played it before, definitely recommend it. It is, I think it's still the highest rated game of all time. So if you want to play one of the best Zeldas, this is probably it. But it may feel dated. You have to just keep that in mind. And I don't know if they've like sort of updated some of the mechanics or not. But when it came out was a sort of a masterclass of what to do. It was a fantastic game. So that is like the headliner. They did have a whole bunch of announcements of games we already knew about or had released on other platforms that are now coming over, which is great. That basically means like they finally have given the dev kits out to people and they're all porting their games over. So you're now seeing all those finally show up. They got to show the next Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, which I think was also a big deal. That's pretty cool. They got that one. And it's going to release on their platform as well. Obviously, that was the whole point, right? To tell you, hey, this is also coming to at release, also coming to Switch 2. Fantastic. They're getting a Kingdom Hearts collection on Switch 2. Minecraft's getting updated. Warhammer, Space Marine 2, etc., etc. They have a Splatoon Raiders that's coming out on July 23rd. They also had Switch Sports Resort, which looks pretty cool as well. They had Xenoblade Genesis announced. They had Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 getting Switch 2 ports. They had Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble, Bonanza DLC, Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Like a whole bunch of things for all sorts of people who really like some of those Nintendo games. Stellar Blade was announced for Switch 2. Haven't seen anything for Xbox yet. But yeah, and then like Onimusha Way of the Sword will also be coming to Switch 2. Which again, this is good that they're getting a third platform for almost all of the games now. Dragon's Dogma, which I mean that was a performance hell game, right? It's coming to Switch 2, so they're making that happen. Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming to Switch 2. So yeah, it was pretty cool that they have all these announcements of games that are being ported. I like that from a platform perspective. I think it's good that all these games are making it over there. Hopefully they'll do well. They have Liza P coming over, Lords of the Fallen 2, etc., etc. All sorts of games that have been released elsewhere. They're coming over. Star Fox is coming up, I think, in June, right? The latter part of this month. They show that again. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. So I thought it was pretty good. The show was pretty decent. But what did you guys think? So Chris, you saw it, the Cliff Notes version. What did you think?
I thought the show was great. Not quite as good as the Xbox show and Summer Games Fest. I know a lot of Nintendo people were hoping for some Mario Kart Worlds DLC. They've been talking about the game being kind of stale for the most part, but they had a lot of good games. I've been looking for a reason to get a Switch too, because I still have my original Switch. Because the only game I play right now is Pokemon Champions, which is free to play, so I don't need a Switch 2. But this gets me closer to wanting to get a Switch 2. You mentioned Kingdom Hearts, which was a really good trailer to get for Nintendo. Final Fantasy Resonance, 2D HD game, was also announced here. I'm a big JRPG fan, Lord turn-based, as Cog might say. And to see these pixel style graphics, if you know me, you know I'm a Suikoden fan, Eiyuden Chronicles. I absolutely love the art style, so I will be looking forward to Final Fantasy Resonance. Ocarina of Time, I'm one of the people that did not play Ocarina of Time originally. So I might have to get a Switch 2 just to play this game. I wrote an article. It was either last year or the end of the year before that, top 100 games of all time. And I wrote it in collaboration with like 3 or 4 other people. So it was a group effort. And I was outvoted on how high Ocarina of Time should be on this list. So it's pretty high on the top 100 games list on lordsofgaming.net. But my standouts were Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave. I'm a big Fire Emblem fan, all the way back to, the GameCube days. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, Three Houses, turn-based strategy. I absolutely love it. And the last thing that wasn't mentioned that I had of note was Pokemon Pocopia DLC. I'm not a giant Minecraft, Animal Crossing, any type of like the creative stuff. I'm not super good with that stuff, but I am a Pokemon fan, and Pocopia kind of has me, but not enough to get a Switch 2. But if I were, one of the first games I get, because that DLC looks amazing, able to go underwater, build your stuff underwater, swim around, do stuff with some of your favorite Pokemon. So overall, good show. It's very close to Xbox and Summer Games Fest, but like I said, no Mario Kart Worlds DLC, so not quite as good, but I was pretty happy with it.
Awesome. I did forget to mention one I probably should mention is Duskbloods. They gave an update on that too, and so it's the next From Software game that is exclusive to Switch 2, and that will have some sort of closed beta test in the summer, apparently, right? So it should be coming pretty soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out later this year, but that's another big one, right? But yeah, you mentioned Pocopia. I forgot to even mention they have this whole new DLC for that, and part of it was free, part of it you have to pay for. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here for all the Nintendo different game types. If you're fans of Nintendo games, man, there was a lot of stuff here. Corkenstein, do you have a chance to watch it or?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I really liked it. I think we got solid showcases all throughout, or directs or state of plays. Either one, all of them I thought were like in the 8s, 9s area. Especially Nintendo for this one. So, I mean, come on, Ocarina of Time. It is, like you said, it is the de facto probably greatest, besides like the other than like the old school, the more modern water one, or the kind of ones that we kind of, or later generations grew up with. Ocarina of Time, one of the best ones. Kingdom Hearts 4. I mean, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, despite the very overly convoluted storyline. I mean, it's Disney and Square Enix doing cool stuff, so you can't be mad at that. I really like that. The Star Fox demo, that was cool. That was a little nice announcement, surprise. Another one that I don't know how many other people, but I like the Cariosoft games. So the One Piece Grand Gourmet little management sim game, I actually like that. It's on a lot of, you can find them on the mobile stores and stuff like that. But they're little cute games, and especially One Piece. I'm a massive One Piece fan, so it's cool to see that. They're getting Stellar Yams, or I mean Stellar Blade. So that's a cool get. I'm pretty sure that's a whole other topic we might have for later tonight. So I'll save my opinions there if that's the case. They're getting Warhammer, Space Marines 2, one of the best games of last year. That was just completely awesome. Lots of good stuff come to the platform. Majority of it all third party, which is all right. But they're finally starting, like you said, they got the dev kits now out. So third party publishers are finally able to start putting their stuff on there. it's gonna be a good year, I think, for coming up for Nintendo and next year and stuff. They have a lot of cool stuff. The collection actually for Kingdom Hearts 2, I forgot about that. Overall, yeah, I give it a good 8 for the showcase.
There you go. There you go. I thought it was really good as well. A lot of stuff that was there. It was needed. And there really wasn't. I mean, yes, there was some things announced, but I mean, there's the big game. There's some big stuff, like a lot of people expected Mario and stuff like that they haven't announced yet. But it doesn't mean it won't come between now and the end of the year. But if it's not announced yet, that means it's not coming before the end of the year. So maybe they're going to build up for next year, starting off strong next year. We'll see. Like I said, there's more things coming out. Sometimes they do surpriser type drops. So I don't know. We'll see. Hargeet, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, overall, like games like Switch Sports Resorts, like that actually sounds pretty good. And it had like a whole bunch of like returning favorites, right? So that sounds pretty cool. I'm likely going to pick that up. So they had that. Star Fox, I've tried it a couple of times and I'm not really liked the gameplay. So I don't know if they've modernized it or not. So I'll have to wait for reviews on that one. But as far as like Kingdom Hearts, I probably won't pick it up on Switch 2. I'll probably pick it up on Xbox, but it's good to see it's coming along. At least it's got proof of life. Something's happening. So I think that was good to see. Ocarina of Time, it has me a little annoyed because I'm not sure if I want to go back. It's one of those things, like it is by far one of my favorite games. It is very, very good. It is very, very good. But it also is a game of its time. Like when you play anything like that old, like we're talking like 1998, right? So it is an old game at this point, like almost 30 years old. It might feel old, right? And that's the thing. And it's like, well, okay, that was cool back then. Now we've had so many more things that have happened, even Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Like they have changed the formula so much for Ocarina, sorry, Legend of Zelda. I don't know if it's gonna feel the same. However, it's that game. It literally is like that game. And like I just brought up the Metacritic. I'll just share it. It's just to show you, like it's ridiculous how well it has done. But here's like the best games of all time. Number 1, Ocarina of Time. Number 1. And it's up there with all these like GTA, Super Mario Galaxy, like number 1, Ocarina of Time. And then you get Breath of the Wild right here. So it's just one of those games that like it is really, really good. But again, it might be, I don't know if you actually put that up or not. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, I don't know if I want to pick it up just because it's Ocarina of Time, and will I actually spend time in it? Because again, it's a Zelda game, and it's a Zelda game, so it's going to take a lot of time to play through. And if you really want to give it its time, it is a good long game, and you should. It is a very good game. I hope they've modernized it a bit, but it's just in comparison to the so many other things that are coming out, and we just got a whole bunch of announcements. I don't know if I'm going to have time for this. So that's going to be my thing with it. I don't know if I assume it comes out this year. I think they're saying it's coming out this year, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I'd pick it up or not. But it's one of those, like, can I really say no to Ocarina of Time? So that's kind of where my head's at with that one. But yeah, I think overall, I think if you're a Nintendo Switch 2 fan, you have a Switch 2 and you want to play a whole bunch of games, it's good to see all these third parties are happy to adopt this platform and actually put their games there. And even challenging games like the Capcom one there. Why am I forgetting the name? What was it called?
Onimusha?
Not Onimusha, the other one. The one that was like performance crazy, that's being ported over.
Devil May Cry?
Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma 2, which like killed most of the machines that it was on, right? It had a lot of problems, but they're managing to put it on the Switch 2, which is great. So that's a good thing that even that kind of game is coming over. But yeah, I like to see all those. Like again, it's if you want to have, especially portable, you get to take it with you. Granted, you can also buy the higher end portable consoles, but hey, Nintendo's a great option for a lot of people. You're getting all these games over there, major DLCs for things like Pocopia, for Bonanza, right? All this stuff going on. And then you have Fire Emblem and stuff like that. Again, these are big franchises. Some people may not care about them, but a lot of people in the Nintendo arena do care about them. And so it is good to see that they're really cooking. They're really bringing a whole bunch of games. Star Fox coming. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming. What I didn't see is a mainline brand new Mario or Zelda. Now, granted, Ocarina of Time is something I can't take that away. But I would love to see a brand new, Zelda or Mario. That is probably going to be a year or two away, unfortunately. So we'll wait for that. But yeah, again, if I had to rate the shows, I don't want to be mean. I still gave Sony a good rating, but I would say Sony, Nintendo, Summer Game Fest, and then Xbox kind of would be my pattern. I think Xbox really just smashed it. It was like the best show. Summer Game Fest was really good. It had a lot of good stuff, but it did lull a bit for me. There were times when it kind of dipped a little bit. And then Nintendo, its applicability, I don't tend to play a lot of those games. I do like that they're bringing them over, though, so I'm going to give them kudos for that. So I think it was a little bit higher than Sony. And Sony was good, but it had like the fewest games that I wanted to play. But I still think I thought it was a good show. I thought they did a pretty good job for that platform. Of course, they were missing one trailer that they were expecting to show that didn't happen. We'll talk about that trailer in a little bit.
I was gonna say special Nick, fine gentleman over from Day One also brings up a good point about wait for the Zelda edition Switch 2 that's probably going to come out if you are going to get one, because we all know they're going to do probably a Zelda Switch 2 for Ocarina of Time, which that would probably be a Day One buy for me. If they did it, I'd probably get one.
So what they do need to do is at least the controller. They should have a Zelda controller, because I have the plain Jane, Switch 2 Pro controller. I will 100% buy the Zelda controller.
So what you're saying is gaming companies should do more custom consoles, is what I'm hearing here.
Oh gosh, I've been like screaming that. Like, why the heck doesn't Design Lab just have custom consoles available? I don't understand. Like, I like certainly like that 25th anniversary. Did that look cool? Like, why is that not an option for people?
It's funny. All the time? It's funny because we talked about this at breakfast. I don't know if you remember this, Hargeet, but Friday when we had the buffet breakfast, me, you, and Boom, I mentioned growing up, I never got the original Xbox Halo edition. I said I really wanted it, and then I also mentioned the purple Game Boy Color, that other translucent console. I wanted it, but I'd already bought one, and my parents wouldn't get that one for me. And so it's funny that we had that conversation on Friday, and then on Sunday we got Oprah Winfrey with the Xbox 25th anniversary. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we did.
And Chris, you got to go as a fan, because I'm pretty sure I printed you. I sent you your code, right? So you get a free Xbox. Some of the ILP folks did not get one because they went as media.
Nick actually says they are doing a Pro controller. They're doing both the console and controller for Zelda. So that's good to know.
Done deal. Definitely getting that. All right. I got a couple of these. Ram Stroker, aka FARK QUE, gifts another 5 WebDave memberships. Big Papi Senpai, a member for 7 months.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you re-upping.
Silver Wolf gifted 1 day membership.
Thank you so much.
And then we've got Nerds and Other Legends. Somebody we also met over there in LA.
So awesome.
Shout out to WebDave and the panel. Happy Sunday.
Thank you very much.
And then Lotus Esprit gifts 10 WebDave memberships.
Thank you so much, Lotus. We appreciate that.
And then it's me, the broke boy. $2. Not even custom consoles. Give some damn raps. Yeah, they should do more of those as well. And then Viper, $5. I miss the days of custom consoles. That is one thing Xbox did better during 360 and One era. Yeah, I agree. The One X, like they had a couple of them. Even the One, they had some. I don't know why they just gave up on it. 360 had those face plates. Then they had like I had the Star Wars one, the whole kit, right? It came with the Kinect and the C3PO controller and all that. great, and yet I don't know why they don't just do more of those, but I don't know, maybe the cost is so much that it's hard to do. But again, they could just do it on Design Labs and let it be custom, and people will pay extra. It's okay, they will pay extra, trust me, they
Yep.
will. So
Exactly.
like I don't know why they don't just do that. But yeah,
I think the wraps is a good choice, that's for sure. Asking about that, and that's it seems to be a good entryway into it. That's something that you can customize without having to spend a lot more money. Plus, too, I'm sure. I mean, if you're going to do a run of consoles that are a certain way, like a limited edition, that's not only is it the console itself, but then again, you're going to have either the marketing, and you're also going to have the box art and everything like that. All has to be different, and all has to be manufactured. So I'm sure there's a cost to it, but maybe those are things that they're going to do more in the future. I mean, we do have a green one coming, the translucent green, and it is obviously we're blessed to get to get one as well. But there are going to be available for purchase as well. They will, from what I understand, be in limited supply, so it'll be probably a higher end item. Go ahead and read that there, Hargeet.
That is an interesting question. Conquer asks, do you guys think Gears E-Day will sell more than Wolverine?
Yes.
Are we talking about console to console, or because Gears will be on Steam as well? So we have to include
I think
those
it's
sales.
Steam. Yeah, it's full sales.
Overall purchase. Yeah.
If we're doing overall purchases, then I think it has a good shot.
Oh, I think it has an easy shot. It's a mature rated game, like Gears is. So that's already going to limit some of your audience right there. Not like if it was teen rated or or something like that, then possibly it would get the more people. But there actually is some parents that say not gonna get it, and Gears being available on multiple different storefronts, multiple different places that you can get it. I wouldn't count it out. I mean, if you think, there's so much more of an install base with PlayStation. Really? Huh. We'll get to that story here in a few minutes, won't we, Hargeet? But what was it? Their game of the year, the year before last, just right at or right below 2 million. So 2% of their overall consoles had Astrobot available. Or purchased it. So yeah, and that was actually rated teen, big title, big game, big award-winning game, and still not Mark Cerny, the church lady. I'm sorry, yeah, not special. So it didn't sell as well as they would have hoped. So and yes, this is a big franchise, one of the biggest.
Yeah,
but it's not as big as Spider-Man. So I mean, there's a lot of factors. I personally don't think it's going to sell more than Gears. Same time, roughly time.
I think it does have a good shot. I mean, we are looking also that Gears is also releasing it to Game Pass, so that's going to be a little bit of loss of sales, at least from console to console. I think majority of what Gears does will be heavily PC based, which is the only benefit I think that it really has over Wolverine, obviously, since it won't be there. But Wolverine's a pretty big IP. I don't know. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot closer. It's gonna be more neck to neck, if anything. I think due to the Steam sales, I think that's gonna push Gears a little bit ahead. But I think Wolverine will give Gears a run for its money for sure.
I think that there are some superhero games that have a chance to sell well more than others. I know we've had so many Avenger movies, so many Marvel movies, and as crazy as it sounds with how big of a Marvel and superhero fan that King and Cog and Sov and all them are, I'm not a superhero fan. But if there was a superhero that could get me into Marvel or DC or whatever the case is, Wolverine's one of the most popular ones, I think. For me personally, it'd have to be Wolverine or Gambit. But if I'm going to be drug into something like Wolverine, to Marvel, it would have to be probably a Wolverine game. I don't think it will sell more than Gears. I think people are kind of getting superheroed out between Spider-Man and all the other games that do come out. So I think Gears will sell well, but like Cork said, could be close.
There you go. Hargeet?
It's gonna be a tough one to do. So look, the numbers have to work out for Wolverine. This is according to them, right? The leak that we got from Insomniac. It needs to sell over 10 million copies to break even. So we will see. My expectation is they're expecting to sell over that. Spider-Man 2 got to about 15 or something like that. How much did it sell? I don't know what the numbers are for 2.
15. Roughly the 15 to
so
20.
It's not going to sell
there.
15. Yeah, it's not going to sell 15 because Spider-Man, I'm sure Spider-Man 2 is teen rated or less than mature. This is gory, right? It's going to be outright gory. So it is going to have a more mature rating. So if that's the case, fair enough that'll cut it back a bit. It also is not Spider-Man. Spider-Man is probably the most recognized superhero. I mean, it's just one of those top ones, right? And Wolverine is, good, but it's not at that level. It's just not. It's probably going to have a little bit less. I don't know that Gear sells that high. You mentioned, Game Pass, that's part of it. And also just historically, they don't sell at that level, right? So I don't know that it would go that much, though it looks really good. It looks really good. It is going to get hampered a bit by being on Xbox, but Steam, it's there, right? And PC, it's there. So anybody on PC, you got hundreds of millions of players that could potentially access it. That they can buy it on the PC Xbox app, or they can buy it on Steam. The pre-orders are already up for the collector's edition. If anybody wants to get that looks pretty good too. It is a pretty gory statue, but it's if you want to get it, it's out there. So that's another option. I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be better than. If I had to take a guess, I would say Wolverine might sell more. That'd be my guess. If I had to, I can't imagine with Game Pass that it's going to outdo Wolverine. They must have metrics that say that they're going to sell over 10 million copies. I assume they have those metrics as to what the attachment rate is going to be. So my guess is it's going to do well, but who knows? We don't know. It could totally fail. That is absolutely an option. We'll see what happens. This is also coming out in a time when there's a ton of games coming out, and a lot of people pick one or two games, and that game might be, I'm saving up for GTA and I don't care what else is coming out, right? And if that's the case, right, and that by the way is across the board, right? It could be the same for Gears. This is going to be a tough one. Again, we know metrics of how many people buy many games. It's not that high. Most people buy 1, 2, 3 games. That's it. And a lot of that ends up being Call of Duty plus. And so you got one already, and then you got like one other, maybe two. So yeah, I don't know. And there's a lot of games coming. So I don't know what it's going to look like. This is just one of those weird years where we have this big freaking thing coming out. That will pull from everybody else. So, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah. And I will say, Spider-Man is this gen's like superhero, but for us graybeards, it was all Wolverine. Like we all loved Wolverine back in the day. That was and this being a mature rating game, I think we're going to get a lot of older guys that are going to be buying into this game versus the younger gen. Which I don't know. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be neck and neck. It's gonna be a lot closer than what it is, especially like I said, with GTA coming out around the corner from that time as well. I don't think this is a clear winner for either one. But I'm on the fence. I think Wolverine probably might take it a bit more than Gears might.
Yeah. Joey. Shout out to Joey. Ponies are starved. Don't underestimate Wolverine, and Gears has never been a massive game seller. This is kind of the problem, right? I don't know. Paris, how's it going, Paris? Great to see you, Dave, and everyone last weekend at SGF.
It was great to see you, Paris. It was awesome, and I know you were quite the busy person, all over the place. You had meetings a
lot of us are
crazy. But dude, thank you so much for the time to post for a picture with me again and talk to me a few minutes. I really appreciate that. Always great to see you, sir. Amazing. So yeah, good times. So many good comments. Oh yeah, we have a whole bunch of little
He just timed out Black Viking.
Shout out to Black Viking. It's me, the broke boy, $2. I ordered the Gears Collector's Edition. I did as well, by the way. I got, but the other two are sold out. Freaking Fable and Halo is sold out. So anyway, I put myself up on notice to see if they can get more in. I hope they make more. We'll see. Lotus Esprit gifts another 20 WebDave memberships.
Thank you so much, Lotus. Your generosity knows no bounds. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So yeah, and Black Viking, you'll be back in soon. Although you did start it. You said somebody kicked Paris, so he took care of that, didn't he? Yeah. Go ahead, read it. Read that, Hargeet.
Paris, I got the power. Black Viking, take a timeout.
And he does for that reason too, that he can because I don't like anybody dissing on our friends. So there we go. And of course,
yeah.
Well.
For those that don't know, it's a friendly rivalry. For those that don't know.
And I gotta say real quick that hanging out and talking to the Black Viking, I got to hang out talking with for over an hour. We sit down and we were just shooting the shit and talking and stuff between events, and it was great. He is such an amazing member of the community. His show is greatly missed, but the job he's doing now, working for Microsoft, is amazing. And he's doing what he wants to do, and we support him 1,000%. If he ever does make it back into the community, he knows he's got a free invitation to jump on and speak his mind here. So Black Viking, again, honored to hang out with you again, sir. Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
And FARK QUE gifts another 10 WebDave memberships as well.
Thank you, FARK QUE. Sorry. Oh, FARK QUE, I need some help with ARC Raiders. We got to talk later. Just kidding.
All right. On to the next topic.
Which one? Oh my gosh, we do have a couple.
Let's just do the PlayStation Studios one. Let's get that little thing out of the way.
All right. Let me pull that one up here. Oh, whoops, I got that one. All right, let me scroll down. Oh shit, I do have it. I promise. Let me just scroll to it. But you know I got it because I put it in the thing for you to check out. Let's see here, but I want to show the actual art itself that was done. Day Reezy, thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate that.
Day Reezy gifts 10 WebDave memberships.
Nice. Thank you.
This is another interesting point Sappho makes. You know what? They'll very likely bundle that thing in with the console.
Probably will.
Wolverine will probably be a bundle.
It is a PS5 only game, so it would make sense, I think, for them, right? I don't think there's a PS4 version.
Nope, PS5 only.
So it would make sense for them to bundle and get people to upgrade before GTA comes out, especially too.
All right, I sent that to you, so let me go back to the notes because private chat. Let's see here. FARK QUE, he's not to be outdone.
FARK QUE gifts 5 WebDave memberships. Then BT Maverick, shout out to BT Maverick, was also hanging out with us, gifted 10 WebDave memberships.
He was. It was great. Let's see. Share this tab instead. All right, so let's bring this up, Hargeet. I'll let you read. And BT Maverick, great hanging out with you too, my friend. Awesome member of the community. Great guy. Let's see here. Add to stage, and we'll let you read. Lotus. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, my friend.
Lotus gifts 50 WebDave memberships. My goodness. And then Day Reezy gifts 20.
Wow. Thank you all so much. I do.
No Xbox game has ever won Gotti. I disagree with you, Paris. South of Midnight, Canadian Game of the Year.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I went a Keeley, but there's plenty of other places that that give Game Awards. Just saying.
And didn't Forza Horizon 5 win IGN's Game of the Year?
I think so. Yeah.
Am I correct in remembering that? I think it did.
Amazing. Huh?
If I wanted a console war, I would say Xbox's Expedition 33. Since it went into Game Pass, but that's just me being console worry.
We like messy.
Paris just wants that Xbox.
Oh yeah.
I think you know what? I think Paris probably will end up getting one anyway. Just saying.
Yeah, I probably will.
I don't feel it.
All right.
Well deserved.
According to El Gamer Informado. Okay, whatever. Updated first-party PlayStation Studios game sales. The loud failure of Saros, Marathon, and embarrassingly low God of War sales are confirmed. Where are the fans? Okay, so this is Alinea. I just want to be clear. It's Alinea, so don't take it for sacrosanct that these are actual numbers. But according to them, wow, Sons of Sparta sold 132,000 copies. Yikes. Marathon didn't even break 350,000 sales. Wow. This is on PS5. Now, granted, Marathon is everywhere else too, right? So, but that ain't looking good. Saros, 406, kind of in line with Returnal, which was about that much. The Show, 745. Like, wow, that's pretty bad. Death Stranding 2, only 1.7 million. Okay, Ghost of Yote at least did reasonable, 4.8 million. Now this is still only on PlayStation 5. It's not come out to anything else, and I don't know if it will or won't. But 4.8 is not bad. But you do have to wonder, like, wouldn't you want more sales for that? But okay, whatever. I fine. It does seem a little low, given that these are exclusive content for their platform outside of Marathon and Show, which I wouldn't have thought they would that low, but maybe this is just an off year. Why are they not selling with the 100 million consoles that they have out there? But Ghost of Yote, I think Ghost of Tsushima also kind of was in this ballpark too. It did end up at higher numbers later, but like maybe this is just it's kind of the amount that you're going to sell. So that did decent, but Death Stranding 2 I'm sure they're not going to be happy with that. That's already been announced for PC. Is that correct? I think it's coming out on PC already. So I'm sure that'll come to other platforms because they want.
I think it was leaked for ratings. I think that there was a PC rating or something like that. I don't know if they've actually announced, but there was like a leak that the ESRB was rating it for, or like I think it was like a Korean PC. ESRB or something was rating it for PC.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
The Yote one, isn't that out on PC already?
No.
Okay.
Ghost of Yote? No, that is.
They haven't even announced it.
Oh, my bad.
I think that's the one that they were talking about or something like that, but I can't remember.
Yeah. And and of course there's a lot of people were going with the story that they're pulling away from PC stuff, but there has been no official Sony announcement of that. Supposedly an inside story came out and was talked about, but there still has not been any confirmation from Sony officially that they are no longer putting games on PC, party games. So just saying, and they need money. Go ahead.
Is it coming to be fair, why don't you show what Xbox did with their games, or is this just the PlayStation thing? So there is a major distinction in that Xbox has a subscription service that covers their games, right? So it is a little different. But to be fair, I don't know that they would like, look, they have 1/3 or half the consoles. It's not going to be similar, but what we hear is for certain types of games, Xbox players buy at the same rate, if not more. And in some cases, they just don't buy at all because it's not games that resonate with the Xbox community. But I would assume games like this should. God of War didn't sell. Isn't that kind of a big IP on PlayStation? Okay. And maybe they put that in their subservice in a few months. That's great. But is that a good showing for them? I don't know. You have to put it in comparison. This is how they sustain their business, and is that a good thing? So is Saros tracking correctly? Probably. I think that is probably what they expected. They did put more money into it this time. The budget's a little higher. Is it going to make it back? I don't know. So we'll see, right? And the Show, maybe this is just an off year, right? And that's fine. Like I expected them to sell over 1 million on PlayStation. They usually sell around a couple million total, right? So across the platforms. So maybe this is just kind of an off year. So But I don't know. Marathon though, that's gotta hurt. There's just no way around that. That's gotta hurt. Even if they have an equivalent on Xbox, which they probably don't, because I think it's going to be, kind of the same, a little bit less on Xbox, and PC probably about that much, if not half that or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's not looking good.
There you go. All right. Yo, Mav. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
Hey, Mav.
What's up? What's up? Hopefully he's going to be on pretty soon. So that we look forward to having Mav on soon. That'll be great. But yeah, guess we want to go around the board with this. Like I said, these numbers, are not 100% official. But yep, their numbers, it's kind of like, Sony, a lot of fanboys for PlayStation will go with these numbers when they benefit them. And then when they don't, they're, that's you can't rely on that source. It's bad. You can't really have it both ways. So we're just going to ballpark it and say that, these take it as it is, the source that it's from. Anyway, and go from there. So, Chris, you want to start with this?
I don't really have a lot to say. It's I prefer like 100% like official game sale sources. Like I don't know this person. I don't know if it's accurate. I don't know if it is accurate. So I don't personally speculate too much. However, I'll be honest, there's only 2 games that's listed here that I played that I enjoyed. And that's just a me personally thing. But a lot of games on all console game sales have diminished over time in favor of the Fortnites, the Marvel Rivals, the whatever you call it, the live service free to play game. So I'm not shocked if these are the correct ones, and I'm sure there's lots of numbers on Xbox that are probably similar. So it's sad to see, because obviously you want games to sell well. That's how you get sequels. That's how you get studios not shut down, even though it tends to be a trend that we see every year. So it's sad to see, but I think that I personally don't speculate too much unless it's from official source, but it's probably accurate.
Yeah, it does seem I'd say what's in the ballpark for sure. Corkenstein, your thoughts?
Alenia, nothing to see here. Move along.
He's not the droid anymore.
I'll wait until Circana comes out with their numbers. Alenia likes to do this stuff to create narratives. They sell narratives, not analytics. That's how I always look at it. Anything, it could be Xbox sold 50 million copies of Gears of War, and I'd be like, yeah, no, I doubt it. Let me see what Circana says. Doesn't matter what platform. These guys, you can see the little tiny writing down at the very bottom left. It says based off of Alenia game estimates.
Yep.
Want to know how they get these estimates? They don't tell you what their secret mythologies are, what their methodologies are.
To be fair,
they do not tell you what it is. You know what they do? They see, okay, let's see how many trophies popped. Okay, we'll count that as people actually bought the game. What's in the best-selling top 10? Oh, okay. Well, we saw that this company said they released this, and it's in between these. So we're gonna say this is how they come up with these estimates. They sell narratives, and that's why Chris Dring loves using these guys, is because he sells narratives. Does great interviews. I'll give him that. Does really solid interviews. Gets some really good stuff in there, but I've never liked the guys that use Alenia, because they always spin narratives versus somebody like Matt Piscatella, who from Circana, who's just like, these are the numbers. This is what it's saying. Done. That's it. And then he doesn't say, he doesn't create like exclusives are the main seller for Forza, and that's why console sales are up. And it's like, there's no data that actually supported that statement. It was just, sure, they released at the same time, and you could say it might be coincidence, but to actually say console sold because of Forza exclusive, it could just be people already that had maybe Xbox Ones that wanted to upgrade. That's not a new sale. And it's not because of exclusives. It's just because there's a new game out that won't run on their previous console.
Yep.
their older console. It could be a different number of different things, how Asha's running the business, things like that. So I'm kind of going on a side different topic, but yeah, I don't believe any of these numbers. I think all of these are probably a little bit higher than what they're estimating. I'll give PlayStation that. But yeah, it's interesting. With that said, if these numbers are true, and they do have these exclusives, why aren't Sony PlayStation's console selling more? They're still behind last gen. So do exclusives really work in the way that people think they do? Or is it just something for more perception of brand recognition? That kind of raises that question, and it's a totally different topic as well. So yeah, like I said, I don't really trust these guys. As they just came out of nowhere, started hiding how they come to these numbers, but they sure like to make narratives. So I'll skip these numbers.
Fair enough. Hargeet, any more thoughts on this, or
no, we'll have more to talk about when we get to other things, right? But because of industry fun things going on.
So let me throw this out there before we go on. Just to give a little context. So this is Very Dark. These are from the 9th, the numbers for Destiny 2. These are Steam numbers only. Okay. So Steam numbers for the Steam charts that anybody can look at. This is a 24-hour player count, peak capacity of players. And you can see what Destiny 2 is doing. And then their brand new hot IP is Marathon. And in the same time frame, these are their numbers. So yeah. So there's a little bit of context for you as far as the overall sales of Marathon hasn't done very well. Definitely not what they needed it to do. But we shall see. Hargeet, any thoughts on those, or does that just kind of seem kind of clear cut on that?
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We were hearing numbers of sales being in the 1 million range total, right? Something like that. Look, they didn't write down $750 million for nothing, right? They literally did that month or two ago.
They did.
So it is what it is, man. This is just where they are. They're gonna have to kind of deal with it and figure out what to do next. It is funny that they're killing off Destiny 2 when there's still more players for that than there are for this. But
yeah, and they also had a last 2 weeks. They had a free play on Marathon where you just had to download it and you could play it without buying the game, and that didn't generate any more player base. Just kind of interesting that didn't work out so well. Interesting. And those are factual. So just saying. Yeah. All right. So yeah, go ahead and let you read some of these super chats, and then we'll move on. We do have a few ponies lurking in the chat, which is fine, as long as they're behave. Exactly. But if you want to go, you can go watch MBG, and you can soak in his misery if you like. Just saying. if you want to suck on the pit of Sony. But
it's me, the broke boy, $2. Death Stranding 2 came to PC in March this year. Yeah, I thought it had come out to PC. It's me, the broke boy, $2. Alinea blocked me because I always asked how they got the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, Hargeet, where would you like to go next, my friend?
All right. So let's look at, I guess, the Halo thing, where Halo is going to be on the PlayStation showcase, and then somebody pulled it.
Yeah. Huh. Let's see. Is it this? Yeah, I think. All right, I got a couple of different stories. Let me see. I'll share this one real quick and see if this is the right one. If not, I'll skip. I'll try and find the other one.
All right. New Xbox CEO Asha Sharma reportedly wants Fallout and Elder Scrolls games released faster as Bethesda. This is a different one. This is not the.
It is. Let me.
Okay.
Give me a second. Sorry. Oh man, you get so many bookmark stuff, and then I need to thin this out. That's what I need to do. All right. So I know I have it. So bear with me just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
this is another interesting one, I suppose. But
let's see. Where is it? I know. Got it. Too many.
Can't find it.
No, I think yes. Bear with me a second. I gotta read a little bit before. Let's see. No, that's the MMO thing. That's not it. Let's see.
I mean, we could talk about this one while he searches.
You go right ahead. Yeah, you do that, and I'll find it.
All right. So the new Xbox CEO, Asher Shermer, reportedly wants Fallout and Elder Scrolls games released faster as Bethesda reaches 8 years since the Elder Scrolls 6 reveal. Xbox executive Matt Booty recently said he has seen the game and that it looks amazing and is coming along well. However, he said Microsoft wants to reveal more when the time is right. Yeah, I don't know if you have more on this, but there's more of the reset thing where they're looking to kind of invest more in the bigger games, and it's a nice attempt to say, hey, we can try to make that game come out faster, but is it really going to work? Like, this has been the complaint I've had, is these games take an eternity to make now, because of the expectation game of what is a triple A game. And I'm kind of sick of it. I would rather see 2 to 3 years between games. I don't like how it takes near a decade to release a game. Like, why is that good for me? Look at Naughty Dog. They released their last game in, outside of remasters and all that stuff, but at the middle of 2020 on the PS4, and they had a whole generation, and there's still no attempt at, like, I don't know that Intergalactic doesn't come out on PS6. So we have a whole generation where there'll be no game from that studio. But this is not atypical. It's unfortunately what's happening, right? GTA skipped the entire Xbox One PS4 gen, right? GTA came out on at the end of the PS3 360 gen. Next GTA is coming out, near the end of the Series and PS5. This is where we are. It's just insane how long it takes for these games to develop. And I think of the PS3 360 gen, we had GTA 4, GTA 5, and Red Dead Redemption all come out from that same studio, along with, if I remember right, didn't they have like a Bully and like a table tennis or something like that? Like, Rockstar put out all those games. Was what's that? The Remedy game that they made the third installment of. Do you guys remember the Rockstar was the one that published it, but Remedy made the game. They're remaking the first couple. I can't remember the name of it. It's a bullet timey.
Max Payne.
Max Payne.
And didn't Max Payne 3 also come out that gen?
Yeah.
So all that from the same studio, right? Think about like that, and then we've had one game, Red Dead Redemption 2, right? That is what is happening now as far as the development cycles. It's an insanity of what happens. We had Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment all in the same gen, right? Like, it's just, and now it's like, oh, we got Gears 4 and 5, and now we're finally getting E-Day. Like, and that's over Xbox One and Series gen. Like, it's just so different now how long it takes for these games to come out. So yeah, do I want them to go faster? Sure. Is it feasible? Yeah, if you give up on, like, it has to look like a movie. Maybe if you finally say, no, games should just play as games. But I don't think the audience likes that, because they look at it and say, oh, this is just indie now. Okay. But that kind of is a problem. As we keep pushing these things to look like everything's perfect, what's going to take that long to make? It's unfortunately just the way it is. Not to mention, you're mocapping. It's going to cost more money. You're paying actors. You're paying for that studio. I think of it as a disaster in gaming that needs to be reckoned with. And, the funny thing is, it's us, our gen, that wants these movie looking things. Younger kids don't give a shit. They're totally fine with Minecraft and freaking Roblox. They don't care that it looks good. They care that they can play and they're having fun with their friends. And I wish we would go back to that, because I would love to have games every year or two. I'm kind of sick of this. Like, it's 5 years, 6 years, 8 years. Like, why? Why does that have to be that way? Mm-hmm. I don't think she's going to solve that, though. I just don't, because the expectation game is ridiculous. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, could she have other studios working in parallel? Sure. I don't know how that works with Todd because he kind of owns both of those. So could he be working? He did indie, right, along with the other games, right? That's fine. So if it's viable for him to spend time across all other studios making games, because they did with Machine Games, could it be possible for him to work with an Obsidian and say, hey, can you make the next Fallout? I'll work with you to make the design decisions, the overall overarching story decisions. Fair enough, right? That's a possible thing. But again, I don't know that even Obsidian is at the level to scale up enough to be able to make a modern Fallout game that will meet the stupid criteria that people will put on them to make it look like it's a movie. And so we will see. It'd be great to do that. The investment is high. I think a game that costs you $20 million is better to put out than a game that costs you $300 to $400 million, and you don't know if you're going to get it back. So I don't know, right? And these things can go upwards from there. So yeah, it's a cool idea. And wouldn't it be awesome if you could just wave the Harry Potter wand and suddenly it happens? But that's not the real world. So everybody would love to do that. You don't think like Sony sitting there going, why the heck can't I release the next God of War today? Of course they want to. They would love to do that. You don't think they want to get Intergalactic out this fall? They would love to do that. They can't. It's just a reality. It's just the way it is. Everybody's got to deal with this. It's crap, but it is what it is. So
these things do take time, that's for sure. Like I guess the studio that's working on Blade, people are asking about that, and he said, let us cook. And we should actually hear something from them sooner than you think. There's a couple other big things, and even Colt Eastwood did a really good video just released the other day on Elder Scrolls, and talking about how it may be a lot sooner than you think, and how it could possibly even be set for release in 2027, maybe alongside a certain new console coming out. Just saying, interesting. And his points is in the article. I definitely encourage you to go over to Colt Eastwood's channel and watch that video. It's very good. He does a lot of good work, and he has had a lot of meetings as well. A lot more than I did, I'll tell you that. But that's good because he's earned it. Go ahead, Hargeet. Let's read that one.
Obsidian pumped out how many games in the past 5 years, and the studio is how large? Yeah, and unfortunately, they're on the chopping block. That's what we're hearing, right? They're on the freaking chopping block because their games didn't sell. Avowed and Outer Worlds 2. And thankfully, they have Grounded. Thank God they have that. At least that one's doing well. Yep. But yeah, it's just a sad state. Like I don't know, it is what it is.
But I tell you, Hargeet, from that comment, I mean, a lot of people are saying that as well. I think that kind of like we thought, like when we were going into the showcase, we thought it was, Game Pass. We're not going to hear about it. They're going to pull Game Pass. They're going to pull this, and it was just the opposite happened. So I'm not saying it's that they're not necessarily being looked at. I definitely think every studio is probably being looked at, but I don't necessarily think that a studio of that caliber is necessarily on the chopping block. Now, could they make some changes to the studio? Could they, anything's possible. And of course, there's going to be some painful things happening. That's what Asha says. The next 100 days are going to be telling, that's for sure. And then 100 days after that, I think you're going to probably see some fruits of that labor. But maybe that's just me guessing.
Another question. I'm curious, did the Xbox 360 outsell the PS3? For the majority of the generation, it did.
Yep.
Xbox stopped selling the 360 earlier than PlayStation stopped selling the PS3. So the PS3 went a little bit further and did outdo it by like 1 million or so, something like that. I think it was like 83 to 84, something in that range. It wasn't that much of a difference, but the PS3 did end up getting higher than the Xbox 360.
It did. Yeah, they wanted to get out of the red ring of death syndrome. that was not a good look for them. But hey, it happened, and we're still here to this day because of it. So I do have the correct article pulled up, Hargeet. I don't know if we want to go around and touch base on what we're just talking about, or are we just going to
let's just go through that one now that we've already talked about that. Let's just go through that piece first. So, Chris, what do you think about Fallout, Elder Scrolls coming faster than they do now?
Of course, they would want Fallout to come faster. I mean, look how successful the TV series has been. Why not, capitalize upon that? And who knows how much time we have left with Todd Howard. Obviously, we range in ages of how old we are, but a lot of the people have been building games as we've grown up. Phil Spencer's retired. Todd Howard doesn't have much longer in the industry. A lot of those people that were behind a lot of these temple franchises, Elder Scrolls. Cliffy doesn't even work with Gears anymore. A lot of these older people are leaving the game industry on retirement and stuff like that. So who knows how long we have with Todd Howard. And I know he's mentioned before he would like to see Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 to completion. And games like, I think Elder Scrolls 6 is probably bigger world-wise and stuff than Fallout. And these games do take time. I would love to have a new Elder Scrolls every 2 years, but that's not feasible or possible. I think if Asha is serious about bringing Xbox back to its core, revisiting what makes Xbox, and we got the first 100 days, we got the next 100 days, and if you go based off her LinkedIn, we only got about 4 years to see how great she's going to make Xbox. So, I agree with Colt. Actually, I think we will see Elder Scrolls 6 in 2027. I've wrote about different things to expect on our website with Elder Scrolls 6. I would like to see it sooner rather than later, but every time a new game comes out, we always want it to at least look better than the previous installment. And we've had, I don't know, I'm sure Hargeet knows, we've had Skyrim like 6 times or something like that. Between the regular version, the Legendary Collection, the new 4K 6, whatever the Skyrims have released over time. So I think it's possible, but like every 3 or 4 years, I don't think something like that's possible. But I would love to have Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 quicker than every 8 to 10 years.
Agreed. Corkenstein, your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, it's been an issue, and this is why exclusivity has also struggled a lot with companies, and why you're seeing more third-party publishers open up their ecosystems, because you know, games that take 3 or 4 years are now 7 to 8. Games that, took $50 million to make are now 200-300 million to make. That a lot of that cost is the cost of marketing, the cost of buying hardware and developing on that. Like Hargeet said also as well, a lot of these big AAA games, the standard was set and everybody wanted these bangers in the same realm of God of War. So everyone started mocapping, everyone started getting famous actors to start voice acting, everybody, and that's just what it was. And that's the thing is people want games out faster, the gamers and consumers, until the game's poorly made because it was rushed out, and then all of a sudden it's trash. And why did they release it at the day that they did? And it's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of stuff there, and we do have a way to make games faster, but everyone's like, no, not like that, and that's AI usage. You want your games faster? AI, but no, AI is a dirty word. So that's kind of the like I said, it's a rock and a hard place. It's a catch-22, a double-edged sword. There's ways to do it, but the gaming, consumers and media and everybody else are extremely harsh on those other ways. So that's the hard part. That's the hard part with it, of trying to get these games out, especially games that have built themselves to be these mega games, like these sprawling open worlds, like the GTAs, like the Skyrims and Elder Scrolls, and like the Fallouts. These games take time, and this is what an art is. This is exactly why gaming media, people don't, or games, it's an entertainment, sure, but it's also an art form, and that takes time to make. And teams, and with the new addition of engines and technology, all that stuff, we're growing faster than what we can use the technology for. And that's also slowing us down as well. there's multiple facets here of why these games. So that's why you're seeing these rising costs, and that's why you're seeing Xbox pulled the trigger a little too early on multi-platform. I'm guarantee you, unless they can do what Asha's saying and find a way to limit these costs down for game development, you're going to see the end result's going to be multi-platform. There's just no if, ands, or buts about it. Majority of games will be multi-platform. You might have, like I said, I called a while back. I was like, the exclusive landscape is going to look completely different. Like I said it 2 years ago, and it is now. You're seeing more games go to PC. You're seeing more games in different places. More third-party publishers, going to Nintendo, to Xbox when they were money hatted to PS. It just is what it is. There's just no way to get around it. And I think Xbox, like they did with 2013, they jumped the gun early, but eventually it's going to all lead to the same place unless we can get these costs down some way, somehow, some way. If you can't, then you're looking at multi-platform in the future.
And she, real quick, she plans to, I think 2030, she wants to be able, she says she can beat PlayStation, Nintendo in 2030. So, of course, they would want a powerhouse like Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 to come out quicker, because 2030 is only 3.5 or whatever years away. And
4 years, 2 months.
And if you're trying to do that, Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 would be a way to thrust that console ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And the reason I said that, because that's when I retire. that's my date, baby. Goodness, we have over 300 people watching us live right now. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Whether you were watching us on YouTube or on X, we appreciate you being here. And thank you so much. I know we got a few things to get through, Hargeet, and then of course we'll get to the current topic on the screen as well.
Yeah, I don't know if we got this one, but another 10 WebDave memberships from Lotus.
Thank you, Lotus. You are the man.
Jay Rembert, $2 TTS bots.
TTS, my friend.
I love bacon. Yeah, who doesn't? $2. 3 devs make Call of Duty. Why not 3 devs making Fallout?
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because
possible, sure.
You're rinsing and repeating. It's still the Call of Duty, the same first person. You're not crafting narratives like you do where you go halfway across the map and you're playing in a different biome and you're interacting with different characters and you're taking on different quests. They have the 3 devs with Call of Duty is because one is working on one game and then they release the other one and then the one that was working on that, but it's all the same thing and they're just rinsing and repeating the same format of first person shooters. There's really nothing else other than storylines and balancing the multiplayer aspect, but they're not crafting any kind of narratives. They're not crafting new characters to interact with or landscapes or things like that. They're all tiny levels basically for the most part, that are kind of linear in how you play them. It's not a sprawling open world that interacts differently. It's the same thing somebody mentioned earlier, about modders, like, oh, modders come out and create these amazing things and shortly, and it's like, yeah, but they didn't all the groundwork was done for them. The foundation is there and laid for them, and even the house is built. They're just remodeling the bathroom. They're just putting on some new tiles, some new floor, installing a prettier sink. That kind of thing. They didn't have to actually build the foundation from the ground up and incorporate it into engines and how that works with other ones. They already have that space available for them. So it's game industry is not as cut and dry and cut and paste as people think.
Agreed.
Take this from a former developer.
Agreed. Hargeet, we want to read this new one.
All right, the next topic. This is about the Halo trailer. Relationships have broken down. Asha Sharma, CEO of Xbox, canceled at the last minute the appearance of Halo Campaign Evolved at PlayStation's State of Play. This action, according to Bloomberg reports, has damaged the good relationship that had been established with Sony.
Hey, dear lad, don't you?
Yeah.
Not really. But anyway, it's just me. So a little more in depth in that comment that it was one of those judgment calls that she made. It's certain things couldn't be done because it already had commitments and things like that, and actually reservations and everything taken. And it would just be easier if they went ahead and let the game go ahead and come out. A lot of people are still upset about that the game is coming out to PlayStation at all. But I look at it this way: it is not the main quote unquote multiplayer. It does have the co-op part in it. It is hopefully a good way to say, hey, you like this? My personal thing will be when the game ends and it rolls credit and you beat it, buy an Xbox for the next adventures and Master Chief. Sorry, they won't do that, but why not? Why not? Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'd say about that. It's I think it's pretty good. I think that she's done the smart thing, and from talking to some people at the events, and but we know that there's more coming. There is more exclusives that are coming that make sense, and some of them make really good sense. And we'll just see what it. I mean, maybe if Sony said, well, hey, you know what? We'll let you put Spider-Man on your system, then maybe we'd have a little room to talk. But they won't do that, and they're not going to. So it's not really reciprocal. And of course, Microsoft being the number 2 publisher in the world has a thin line on certain things, but they definitely are clearly aware that that brand loyalty is a thing that they need to go back to. And I think right now there'll be a balance. Will be some time, maybe. And there's still a lot of ponies out there. And it's so funny because they're like, it's coming eventually. Don't worry. It's coming. No, it's not. It's it is now officially an exclusive. 30 years from now, we'll see. But for now, no, not coming. You know what you need to do? You need to buy an Xbox. Or if you have a PC, get Game Pass on PC. I'm just saying. There's lots of things you can do, lots of options that you can get if you're a Sony person that Sony doesn't give you, any much other options. And people, I think, I really do believe that Wolverine will eventually come to PC. Anyway, all right. So, Hargeet, you want to go into your thoughts on this, and then we go around the board?
Sure. So, I'm actually curious why that was even a thing, given that State of Play was going to be ahead of the Xbox showcase. I wouldn't have been surprised to see other games that are applicable. Maybe a Forza thing, saying, hey, the Forza game is already out. Let's talk about the PlayStation port. That also wasn't there.
Right.
And I'm wondering if that was pulled. Call of Duty had already been announced too, so
they're contractually involved for that. Yep.
Yeah, that could have shown up there, and it didn't. So I'm wondering if there really is just a general. So like the Summer Game Fest had the Grounded 2 DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they gave that there. They didn't, put it on anybody else's platform. I'm wondering if that is kind of what Asha's new mode will be. If it's on multiple platforms, we'll give it to Keighley because it's a multi-platform show, and that makes more sense than to do that on Xbox's showcase, but to put that on the Nintendo and PlayStation show. I thought that was a better thing to do if you want to show it, do it there, and then put the logos, because apparently that bothers people, right? The logos in the Xbox showcase for the other platforms. It's like, okay, well then just don't show the logos, but then allow them on the other stages. But maybe the answer is going to be that those games show up at a general, Jeff Keighley show, whichever one, and that's where you see the other logos and you don't see them in an Xbox showcase. But I'm a little surprised that they even greenlit putting a Halo Campaign Evolved trailer on the PlayStation State of Play ahead of their own showcase by like a few days. I don't know why that was even a thing. It's just a little odd to me because the game has not come out yet on Xbox. I think that would have it would have hurt more for a lot of those people who want the exclusive thing. You know, I'm not as bothered by it, but I do think it just looks bad to do that, right? This is your showing of your game. You're showing it on their platform before your own. This is the kind of stuff that was the mixed messaging weirdo stuff that they were doing. And it was just, I don't understand why they even thought that would have been a reasonable thing to do. Asha apparently thought the same and said, nah, that didn't happen. And she pulled it. It frayed the relationship. Who cares? I like at some point, like, dude, this is, you know, they're getting games from the Xbox platform on PlayStation. If they don't want them, fair enough, take them all back. Like that's really the answer. So like, you know, as you said, where's the reciprocity? I don't see those games coming over from PlayStation.
Nope.
You have games that are 10 years old, that are, you know, 5 years old. You could easily port them over. Why aren't you? So if you're not going to do that, then why is there like you know, the relationship is frayed? What are you going to do? Not take Call of Duty? Fine. Bye. I'd be happy to do that. Fine. Because all those players who play Call of Duty, you're suddenly going to come over to Xbox or PC. Because if you don't want it, fine. Guess where they're going to play? They're going to still play. So what do you want to do? Like, so they're stuck. They can suck it. PlayStation's going to have to deal with it for at least the next 7 years or whatever is left on their contract there. And I don't think they want Call of Duty to not come to the platform. So good luck. And look, this is a relationship where Xbox has the leverage. They own games that their players play. You see it in the top 10 all the time. Minecraft, Overwatch, Call of Duty, on and on, right? They have those games. You don't like it? Too bad. Your players are still buying those games. You're still going to want them, and you're still going to keep dealing with Xbox. Just the way it is. So I don't necessarily care about their relationship. The relationship, the one where they want Xbox dead. Yeah, well, that doesn't sound like a great relationship to begin with.
Nope.
So whatever, you know, but I'm still, you know, kind of confused as to who greenlit the idea of putting the Halo trailer on the state of play that's coming up before your showcase. Not like months before, like literally the same week. You're going to have a freaking showcase and you're going to put it there first. I don't think that would have gone over well. I'm glad she did this. And I'm wondering if they pulled more. Maybe we just heard about this. I'm wondering if they pulled more. And they had other things planned to show on that showcase too from Xbox, and they all got pulled. And maybe that's just her signaling where things are going. Let's just say that, right? So I don't think the exclusives are limited to Gears and Clockwork. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more games will stop going over. The ones that kind of make sense, like an Overwatch or Fallout 76 or something like that, those are going to be there. Your Call of Duties are going to be there. I don't think any Minecraft game would ever not go to everything. And there might be other ones that are like that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the future games from Xbox are just, nope, they're here. You want to play them? Come here. So we'll see. You know, I'm still shocked that was actually something they greenlit to put onto freaking state of play. But whatever, that was the previous administration. We are now in a new world.
Exactly. Hey, read that comment from Joey if you don't mind.
Joey says, who greenlit? A person with no balls, no competitive edge, no pride. In some ways, I have to agree with you. Like, this is Halo. Like, okay, whatever.
Exactly. So let's go to you first on this one, Cork. We'll get your thoughts on this, and then we'll go to Chris.
Listen, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Hargeet pointed out like 5 things wrong with all of this, and you don't just pull something last minute from somebody. You pay for that marketing, you pay for that time slot, you have contractual obligations. You just don't go into DaVinci Resolve and click delete and now the trailer's gone and they're going to produce something. You have to remix the audios, you got to do the color grading. There's a ton of post-production at the end of it. That's why, like, all of this just reeks of just bad information. No, Xbox hasn't even came out and said, yeah, we pulled it. But everyone's happy to believe it because, hey, let's just console war. And, you know, I like my plastic box and stupidity. It just makes absolutely no sense, especially the relationships have broken down. We all know there was no relationship. We saw it in the ABK acquisitions. We saw the emails on how they spoke about each other, how they spoke to each other. It's there was no relationship. The more that Xbox invaded the PlayStation ecosystem was actually bad for PlayStation. That's what people don't realize, because they were getting top 10 games sold. They were selling and tracking better than PlayStation's own stuff and other third-party stuff that they money hatted. It wasn't great for PlayStation, especially when everyone's like, oh, they get 30%. Xbox gets 70. You really think PlayStation's happy with saying, here you go, Xbox, here's 70% of stuff sold on our own platform? That's bad. They don't care about that 30%. They still having to give, another, was it 60% back to them, of that 100, or the 70% back to them of that sale. Again, it's these things nothing here is adding up with this report, but everyone's happy to believe it because yay, console wars are back. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. This is the kind of reporting from Jason Schreier. We still haven't gotten a notification or a still announcement. Oh, they're pulling back from PC from PlayStation, because guess what? They're never going to say it, but Jason Schreier is really ready to just put all this, the same thing with a lot of these guys do. They all put out this misinformation because nobody can verify any of this. It's all industry pundits, industry experts. So yeah, I don't think, if anything, what it sounds like is probably that footage was used and they put it in, and because they have to legally explain this wasn't on an Xbox, it was captured on here and it was just left in there. That's more. Or Sony paid for the marketing because it's Halo and they want it to sell on their console because they do also make money off of it as well. So that's the thing. There's millions of other ways that actually logically explain why it says, and this was all based off of footage captured on PS Pro. That's it. That's where this whole entire narrative came from, that spun without any kind of confirmation. So see, that's the silly part here. That's so frustrating, is because all these narratives get creative so people can console war, and it's like none of this actually ever happened. So I don't believe any of this. I think it's stupid. You don't pull something last minute without having to pay millions of dollars for it and not having to have them redo all of their, like I said, their editing. You just don't hit delete and it fixes, and then ta-da, now you have a new showcase. You have to go back and recolor grade. You have to go back and reset the audio levels. If you have transitions in between and how they cut, you have to reset the pace. Now maybe Halo was supposed to be at the beginning and now it's not there, so now you have to find something that's going to fill that gap and keep the pace going. There's a science to this. Yep. And I just don't think that it was just as easy as pulling it last minute because Asha Sharma said she wanted it pulled. That it doesn't happen. So this is just more silly narrative writing done by people who are notorious for it.
Very true. Very, very true. Hargeet, I'll let you read that comment from Lotus.
Thanks to everyone on the chat who are participating and making valid points.
Yep. It is good to see you. And welcome, Fawn. It's good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. You can read it if you want. Yeah,
if Jason Schreier is speculating, that's one thing. But if he reports it, count on that being right. Yeah, he generally is pretty good.
Yep.
But anyways,
yep. Yeah. But they pulled it. So, oh well.
It's me, the broke boy, $2. Schreier should be the town crier in Fable. Oh my gosh, all this hate.
That's pretty funny. All right, so Chris, let's get your comments on this. What do you think about this? Do you think the relationship is really just damaged beyond repair now, or do you think it's I really like she's doing what she has to do to fix it because she's brought in to fix things, right?
As someone who writes articles and stuff myself, I don't have connections like Jason Schreier does, but I would never report on anything that isn't true. However, no one have a heart attack, but I respect Jason Schreier. I respect his work.
Fair enough.
I think this specific article is also misinformation, and there's a lot of things that Cork said I can't say any better. I mean, Cork hit it pretty on the head. I don't believe it was pulled last minute by any means. This stuff takes a lot of work. There's literally multiple posts from Aaron Greenberg saying that they were recording and finalizing stuff in January for the Xbox Fan Fest /showcase. So you don't pull something last minute. I don't care how rich you are, how much money you can throw at something. There's a lot of work that goes into these shows on all fronts, probably less so Nintendo.
Yep.
But there's a lot of work that goes in these things. These things take time. So it may have been pulled, but it definitely wasn't a last minute decision. Like I said, Aaron posted stuff in January about recording his final stuff.
He even came out and said in reply to this, he actually said that that's not true, that they made this decision months ago. So, I mean, and that's, from Aaron Greenberg himself. The tweets are up there. His reply is up there. So,
I just think this one just misinformation from somebody that is maybe one of his connections. Could be a Sour Grapes employee or whatever the case is. Like I said, I respect his work, but I think this article was just misinformation.
And maybe last minute to them is, it's a month out from the show and they pulled it. Instead of like the night before they go in and pull it. That wasn't the case. And I think that's probably the way the article, or at least his comments, were taken. It was that like they just pulled it yesterday. No, they did pull it last minute. A month ago is last minute. Like you said, how long it takes these showcases to get together and to get things going. That probably was the case. I don't know. And again, we're speculating.
And something of this caliber, like the amount of work, like Cork said, the lighting, the audio cues, all this, the transition, all this stuff. I mean, I'm not a YouTube video editor pro by any means, but I'll tell you this. I recorded one of my first videos I ever edited. It's 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And it took me over a week to edit a 5 minute and 48-second video. So I can only imagine the amount of time and effort and work on all fronts that go into making something like this.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Hargeet, where would you like to go now, my friend? As we're getting closer to the end, where we'd like to go to one of the big ones.
Yeah, let's go to I guess the big thing is the next 100 days stuff, right? So we have what did you specifically have in here for that? We had the
actually I think
Satya Nadella thing.
Yeah, the Satya. I have Matt Booty's pulled up from Idle Sloth. You want to take a look at that first, and we'll kind of weave them two together.
Let's take a look at that. We have Matthew Ball. We also have the leak about the potential for spinning off.
Yep. And then a really nice counter article about another big company has done that in the last couple of years, and they seem to be still okay with that too. So maybe it's not such a doom and gloom as some people would like you to think it is. All right, so let's bring this up, and we'll let you read some of this article, and then we'll.
So from another person we met with again in LA, he came back this year.
Yes.
Idle Sloth. Matt Booty on shifting exclusivity strategy, working with Asha Sharma, and why Blade and Elder Scrolls 6 didn't make it into Showcase. Microsoft, Matt Booty says they couldn't fit Marvel's Blade for Xbox Showcase and other beats coming up in the year. It's a big show. I can't fit everything in. Yeah, it was a pretty good big show, right? But anyways, it kind of flew. We never talked about that piece of it, but I didn't realize that we were already at the end. I'm like, oh my gosh, it flew.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we also know that this is an Xbox show and Xbox fans want to feel like it's their show. I think we'll be able to, going forward, find that right balance. Oh, okay. Sorry. When asked about showing other platform logos, that said, they like clarity, which game is coming to platform, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we want to give Xbox players a reason to believe in Xbox, a reason to buy an Xbox, be an Xbox fan. We also want to reward the people who've been with us and have been loyal. So I can tell you, having visited Bethesda and sat with Todd and seen Elder Scrolls playing, it looks amazing and it's coming along well. And we'll make sure to announce it and really reveal it at the right time.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, the article is from Variety, and there's a lot more things that he said too. But I mean, Hargeet, I think they're doing the right things. I mean, it's not gonna. everything she wanted to do is not going to happen overnight. You can't just flip a switch. But there's a little, what you call little wins, and things that they can do right away, and things that they're doing now that they weren't doing a year ago. I mean, we're already seeing big changes to the UI, to all kinds of things that have happened. The fan feedback, and that's not just there and gone. That's there permanently now. You can constantly give some feedback to Microsoft, Xbox, about what they would like, what you'd like to see, and what changes they would like to see made, and things that they can actually work on. They're working on it, right? Your thoughts?
So as far as them showing these, yeah, look, that showcase was already packed. There were barely any things that I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily care. For those that don't know, I video all the crowd reactions, right? So I'm sitting there like video. I didn't even have time to flip over to say, let's upload. By the time they got to one game that I'm like, I don't think people will care about this reaction. So now I'm going to upload these videos. By the way, my E-Day one has already surpassed the one that I did from the E-Day reveal.
Holy shit.
Number of views. Okay. Wow. That's how crazy it was. So, I've had over I think close to 300,000 views on the videos that I put up. It's ridiculous how much people want to see the reactions, which is why if you're listening, guys at Xbox, live show, you got to do a live show. It's just so much better with the reactions that happen. I've been pointing it out to them, by the way. That's why I put that out there. But anyways, Elder Scrolls and look, to me, that's a direct level thing. That should be like what Gears was this year. That should have its dedicated direct after the show. It's a big game, right? Like when we're talking Elder Scrolls Skyrim, we're talking tens of millions of copies sold. That's a huge IP for them. Even if it sells only 10 million, 15 million, that's a huge game. And I think that should definitely be that should be the direct. So that can be the after the showcase direct. If it's next year, it's next year. I just think it might fall into the one after. But here's the fun thing. Next year is also potentially the launch of a new console.
Yep.
You need a marquee title. Clockwork looks cool, but dude, if Elder Scrolls 6 is designed for Helix, that's going to be the title. And it's going to be the thing that people will want. It's going to be the reason people will go get the stupid console. I'm just telling you it like that. You want something like that saying, not made for, because it's going to work on the series consoles. I don't know if it comes to PlayStation, but if this is one they want to really push, say, we want our platform to go somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm not for exclusives, but this could be one of those that you just say, we got this big ass title. You want to play it? You got to play it here. It'll be on the series consoles, PC, no problem. Of course, it's going to be on Steam, all that is going to be there. If you want it, Helix will also show this guy as best as it can on a console. That is something they could play through. Now, does that mean it comes out like, holiday of next year? Maybe they skip it and put it in March of 28 in that launch window, right? Because then it'll be a launch window. But I don't know what they're going to do as the marquee, this is the game you want to buy this console for, especially if that console is going to be very expensive. They have to play through these numbers, right? I'm sure there's a lot of cost in getting Elder Scrolls 6, over the finish line. However, if you want to play this game of exclusivity and why people should come to your platform, good God, would that be a big title to do that with? So is it possible that they're ready for it later this year? Show it off at the Game Awards or something like that. Don't do it at Gamescom. That just makes no sense. Right. Game Awards, sure. I could see it there. You got 100 million plus people watching that thing. 100% show it there if you want to. Blade was announced at the Keighleys. Go for it. If you want an update on that, sure. Game Awards, perfectly fine. It's got that like Hollywood tie-in anyways, right? It's it's got a big Disney IP with it. So why not? Like this, that'd be a good place to show those. They could also just do it next year in the showcase and say this is coming, later this year, right? Awesome, right? And they need to have a launch lineup that's going to be very good compared to what happened with the series consoles when we had Halo Infinite was going to be the launch game. That was the anchor, and then it got delayed. That was sucky, right? Like you have a console with no games. Yes, they had the port of Gears. Is it Gears Tactics? I think that was the game, right? That they had ported over to the console. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's just not enough to anchor your launch. This would. Elder Scrolls 6 is a huge game. So if they can make that the launch game, holy crap, that would be awesome. They have Clockwork ready to go as an exclusive. I don't know where that fits. Maybe that's more of the mid-year type thing. Maybe that'll be like Forza came out in May. Maybe that's where Clockwork shows up. Cool. We already have Fable coming out. It's already locked for February. So we've got that already. So I could see that as a possibility. We just have to be kind of careful that they have a launch window for Clockwork as well, right? Because that I think is going to be their anchor as well. But like that might be for this gen. Maybe that's not next gen. We'll see. It'll be updated, I'm sure. But I don't know if that would be like the launch game that you need to buy the Helix for. But yeah, I can totally see that. And this is kind of the benefit of where they are today, where they have so many studios, so many development teams. They can wait to show you something that big. Because they have enough games. That showcase was fantastic, and literally, wait, we're already at the end. I didn't even realize we're already at the end. Wow! All right, so I think this is going to be a great show next year as well, because these are games we're going to be seeing, right? So, and there's more surprises we didn't, we won't know about that I'm sure will show up as well. And I there are other statements Asha's making about first-party exclusives and third-party exclusives. So we'll see what that means going forward. What will they be? Because they're apparently going to do a tit for tat of what PlayStation's been doing. Oh, you're going to lock that game away from us? Okay, cool. We're going to lock that game away from you. So okay. We'll see how that plays out. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to what they say about these two games. I'm hoping Arcane is not one of the ones that's gone, because that could also be a thing. But they're talking about them, so thankfully that maybe is a good signal. So that Arcane is still around. It would be one hell of a thing to shut down Bethesda. So I'm assuming that's not on the cards. So like I'm hoping Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be good. So we will see. I've liked 4 and 5. I tried Morrowind, had problems with like the way you had to inventory things yourself as far as the journaling. That quest wanted this thing, and I have to journal that. Wait, you're not going to have that. So do a remaster of that, guys. Update that one. Morrowind would be a great remaster. But yeah, so looking forward to 6. But this is the luxury we have when you have a lot of games, right? They can actually say, no, we'll wait on that one. We'll tell you about that, maybe in our January Dev Direct, or we'll talk about it in summer. And Elder Scrolls 6, to me, that's a marquee. You got to have that be your direct. It's got to be the direct after the showcase. That is a big game, right? Everybody's going to want to watch that. So that's where I'm at with that one. Looking forward to OD as well. I don't know what's happening with that. To see if they're continuing. I hope they are, or if that's going to get released soon or delayed or whatever, right? But that should be coming up. I think that should be getting ready, because it was kind of an episodic thing, right? So we'll see what they do with that as well. But yeah, they've got plenty of games to show us.
And that could be a good one to see at the Game Awards, because he likes bringing Kojima out.
Yeah, he loves you. Yeah, absolutely.
He loves that. Yeah, any chance he can get to get Kojima in the building, he's going to try for sure. And we'll go to you, Chris, for just a second. But this just a reminder that, and Hargeet, make sure I got all these correct. But there's the Gamescom coming up. There is obviously the what is it?
There's Tokyo Game Show. There'll be
yes.
several partner showcases. They have several of them throughout the year. So Xbox will have more partner showcases. They'll have another ID at Xbox, or 1 or 2 or 3 of those. So those will keep coming as well. And then Tokyo Game Show,
And the Game
and then the Game Awards at the end of the year. So we'll have a bunch of things, and of course next year we'll have the Dev Directs and all that. But yeah, there's plenty of options for them to keep showing stuff. And there's other shows that will come up as well, I'm sure. So we'll see.
There you go. Chris, your thoughts?
Hargeet mentioned what it would be like if Elder Scrolls 6 was a console launch title for Helix, and it's a pretty good idea, because I'll tell you this, I got a quick story. So when I was in the market to get an Xbox 360, I was on a Wendy's budget. In case you people out there don't know about the Wendy's budget, how much you make working at Wendy's, at least back then, it's not really new console friendly, so to speak. So I had a friend, and I was scheming on how to get an Xbox, because I really wanted Halo 3 and Oblivion. So I convinced I schemed, and you might consider this dastardly, but one of my best friends, his mom passed away, and he ended up with a whole bunch of money. So I convinced my friend that he needed an Xbox 360 because he was my roommate, and we needed to buy Oblivion and Halo 3. So I did all that just to get Oblivion. And Morrowind is exclusive. Oblivion was sort of exclusive. So what better way to kick off part of Asha's next stage of her plan with Helix launching next year, or potentially the year after, with Elder Scrolls 6 being Xbox console exclusive, day one, Game Pass, as we've seen over and over and over at the showcase. They're pretty adamant about making sure Game Pass, console exclusive. So I think, this is my prediction, that next year at the showcase, they will show Elder Scrolls 6, and it will announce with Helix that when they're going to have a Helix launch date, and Elder Scrolls 6 will launch with that title. I think it's a little further along than everybody expects, kind of like Colt was talking about with potentially coming out next year. I've been looking and sifting for any Elder Scrolls 6 information. I've written about it a couple times. As for Blade, I know me and Cork had a similar thought last night on Lemon Show. I'll let Cork say his, but I think they're going to show Blade at the Game Awards. I think the time frame fits. They just needed a little more time to cook. Matt Booty said, they had plenty to show, and they would show this stuff in due time. And Paris and Danny Pena also had a very short interview also with Matt Booty talking about their plans for future exclusives and the like. So I think that they will show these a lot sooner than we think. Game Awards for Blade, showcase next year for Elder Scrolls 6, and what better way to make an announcement than at the end of the Elder Scrolls 6 with a Xbox console exclusive launch title for Helix.
Could be. That would be nice for sure. And before you go, Cork, one other thing I want to throw out there. We know that November 15th is the anniversary, the official 25th anniversary of the Xbox. And we've heard that they are definitely planning an event that will coincide with that. And that there'll probably be some content creators that get invited out to that event. And there'll be, I'm sure, people there to report on it. Hopefully Chris gets the invite and goes out there and does a story on it. That would be great. Praying for you, buddy. But yeah, so that is definitely something that they might want to, talk a little bit about the next 25 years and maybe the direction they want to go. So I don't know, but that's just a thought. So, Cork, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, it's like I said, Chris and I talked about this last night with Blade and Elder Scrolls and why they weren't there. Paris kind of also just said it right now as well. I think there's going to be Gamescom, which they'll announce some stuff, but they also are probably going to have a 25th anniversary show. If I had to guess, they'll have another 25th anniversary showcase. This is the return to Xbox. You're going to start showing off some of your bigger titles like that. So Elder Scrolls 6, I think we get a new Halo. I think that's going to be the next, if you're returning to Xbox and you want to do the big 25th year anniversary, this is where you announced Helix. You're going to start, I think we're going to get a new Halo day one on the new Helix. I think we're going to get Elder Scrolls 6. I called it actually before we did the showcase, 2 weeks ago now? We had the prediction and I made the prediction. I think Elder Scrolls 6 is 2027. It just makes sense. And that's where you also have Blade. And I don't think Blade wasn't at the Xbox showcase because of Xbox. I think it was there because of Marvel. We all know they get their hands in the cookie jar a lot and they like to be very controlling of their IPs. Mm-hmm. And they want to make sure that one, it's either going to have the best showing it possibly can on the biggest stage it possibly can, or one of the mega events. And while the Xbox showcase is big, the Keelys is bigger. So if Blade is going to be somewhere, I would say Gamescom, or like Chris said, the Keelys. And then, but I think ultimately we're going to see a lot more. Like I said, we still have Gamescom. We still have Tokyo Game Show. We still have the TGAs, the Game Awards. But I think we're going to get another special showcase from Xbox, and this is where you're going to see. This is where the heavy hitters, I think, are really going to be stacking up for some of the stuff you wanted to see at the showcase is going to be saved for that instead.
Nice. Could be good. We and thanks to everybody that's joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We got over 315 people watching us live right now on YouTube and on X. Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate that. So yeah, Fuzzy getting a little messy. Hargee, read that comment from Fuzzy Belvedere.
Yeah, November 15th, Helix unveil with Rock and Gates. Yeah, this is a callback to the original, right? With The Rock from the WWE now, right? And Bill Gates. It'd be kind of interesting to see them.
Asha, not Gates. No, hasn't been with Microsoft for so long, and no, that's. No, let's not do that.
But we do know somebody that will be there, and you know who that is?
Who's that?
Major Nelson.
He will be.
Major Nelson showed up, and he's there throughout the whole 25th anniversary stuff. So shout out to Major. That was it was a great moment as well. He showed up on the stage after the showcase, and everybody was very happy to see him there. And he was also kind of emceeing the fan fest activities down on the floor. But yeah, it was great. So, but he will most likely be there as well. But yeah, I don't know, but maybe they do bring back Bill Gates and The Rock just to have fun with it, right? Why not?
Maybe.
You know, what the heck? This is how we started.
They'll need a car to come down from the roof like they did, like, you know, with Forza. They always had a car show up somewhere for like when they were doing the live shows. There was a giant car that came from the roof or drove out from the side of the stage or something like that back in the day.
Yep. Yeah. True. Could be kind of crazy. So we do have a super chat we want to mention before we go to the final story of the night, and then we'll start wrapping things up.
Okay,
I did not play automatically, but I will let you read it, and then I will play it.
Okay, so Razer Ultron $2, 30% cut with no cost or risk is a pretty good deal. Yeah, I suppose that's true, right? P-Lump, shout out to P-Lump. We met him there. $2. In the Trump voice, stop everything, play P-Lump damn theme song.
Well, P-Lump, there you go, my friend.
That's right.
That is not the right one.
For a great raid.
How about I do this?
They see me rolling.
Watch him rolling, watch him go, watch him rolling, watch him go. He be rolling down the street, he be rolling to the beat.
There you go. And before we get to the last story, I do have to play this.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Oh yeah. And shout out to Dirt and Sean, and hopefully Joey, Ray, maybe next year. But I know that Dirt has already said that he is going next year. He is FOMO has now got him. He's finally he's going to be there next year, and hopefully we can get Sean to come on over. I mean, you know, Sean could probably fly over with his buddy Gaz. They can take a plane together. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he can write that off. Some kind of lawyer thing. What? Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, but
he works for Insider Gaming, doesn't he, Gaz?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah. So no, it would be an official thing that he could do, but he got married during this time, so that's gonna be his anniversary. So I'm like, dude, this is like the worst time for you to like. So, but okay, whatever. We'll see how that works out for you, bud.
You see, what you do is but it's not the exact date. Is it? You kind of play with honey. I love you so much. I want to celebrate a week early. Oh, it'll matter. Yeah. Well, your brother with you. Honey,
let's take our anniversary trip to LA. How about that?
That's how you try to sell it. And by the way, I won't be hanging out with you. I'll be hanging out with all these other dudes, and you can just go off and do whatever you want. Oh, wait. Like, yeah.
We're planning a surprise party for you.
Oh dear goodness.
And then they just take her to the Xbox showcase. That's the surprise party. That's the surprise.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so let's get to the final topic with Special Nick. I saw this. Actually, he reposted from Wario 64, and then we'll get into what that was said, and then we'll get into a nice little piece of information that a lot of people don't really remember or weren't bringing up at the time when it started talking a little doom and gloom, that that's another big corporation happened to do something similar a few years back.
Shoot.
What? What is that?
What it do, everybody? I was sick as hell. They tried to take me out, but I'm alive.
You are
He
alive.
got sick from the thing.
Oh no, Pila, I'm sorry that you were sick, my friend, but it was great seeing you in person, and there you go. So it was cool, man, that you made the trip. Let's see, here we add this to it. We'll get rid of that, and then Hargeet, I'll let you read the top part of that, and then I'll bring up the.
All right. Special Nick. Okay, who's gonna contribute to my GoFundMe to buy Xbox? You all know I can fix it.
Special Nick.
Wario 64. The information. Microsoft has considered spinning out Xbox plans new Halo Fallout games. As Microsoft gets ready to overhaul its struggling Xbox gaming unit, it hasn't ruled out spinning out or restructuring the unit as a wholly owned subsidiary, which could make it easier to sell or creating a joint venture with other partners, according to 3 people with direct knowledge of the discussions.
Yeah, and one thing that some ponies were going with is that it's total doom and gloom, and they're selling Xbox. Xbox is on its chopping blocks. It's gone. It's over with. And of course, you know, our buddy, we'll put him in the. We have his emoji there for a region, and that is Dreamcast guy showing off his nice, wonderful teeth that Paris Lily helped pay for. That's what Paris says. There you go. So yeah, so a Dreamcast guy was Xbox is dead. Not so much. Not so much. All right, so let me bring this up here, Hargeet. If you want to read some of these talking points, and then we'll go into the follow-up.
Okay, as Microsoft gets ready to overhaul its struggling Xbox gaming unit, it hasn't ruled out spinning out or restructuring the unit as a wholly owned subsidiary, which could make it easier to sell or creating a joint venture with other partners, according to 3 people with direct knowledge of the discussions. Microsoft doesn't have any imminent restructuring plans, but those options are on the table, the people said. In particular, Xbox will move faster on developing new games from beloved franchises it owns, including Halo, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls. The people said Fallout and Elder Scrolls are 2 particular areas of focus for Sharma. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood have approved of Sharma's plan to spend more on top-tier games in the coming fiscal year, beginning in July, although the budget is not yet locked in and could change, the people said. Nadella and Hood haven't ruled out restructuring Xbox's relationship to Microsoft at some point in the future if doing so would make Xbox a more successful business, the people said. Options on the table could include making Xbox a wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft, a joint venture, or spinning out Xbox entirely, the people said. Microsoft operates LinkedIn and GitHub as wholly owned subsidiaries, which could serve as one potential blueprint for Xbox, one of the people said.
All right, and then there's this nice little follow-up from John. A little reminder about what happened back in January 26th, 2016.
Yep. So Sony spun off the PlayStation business on January 26, 2016, consolidating its gaming, network services, and hardware under a single autonomous entity called Sony Interactive Entertainment. This allowed PlayStation to operate with more management independence and agility within the broader corporation. The transition established the following: headquarters relocated to San Mateo, California, with major regional hubs remaining in Tokyo and London. Ongoing strategy: SIE houses all of PlayStation's global studios, hardware development, and PlayStation Network services. Broader parent restructuring: recently, Sony has continued to reshape its portfolio, spinning off its financial arm and restructuring its TV and semiconductor divisions to allow the company to hyper-focus on its highly profitable entertainment branches like PlayStation.
So there you go. So it's not crazy to think that it's a possibility. And this may not be on the table at all, but if it did happen, it's not the end of the world. And obviously, PlayStation is still here, thorn in Xbox's side. Just saying. So it's it is a possibility. But the thing I want to reiterate through our conversation here as we finish up tonight is that it's not the doom and gloom that some ponies would definitely like you to think about. So, Hargeet, you want to start with this first? Or you want to go around the horn first?
Yeah, I mean, there's other parts that were put out there by them about the next 100 days, right? And so there's a lot of things they need to work through. We're getting final clarity on their actual, numbers and metrics. So they'll hit a 2.5 to 3%. They're calling it accountability target, which I don't know what that necessarily means. But let's say it's equivalent to profit. I don't know if it is or isn't, but something along those lines. Which means that their revenue has fallen and their profit level fell down with it massively. So that's not a great thing, obviously, but they're still profitable. But a lot of that also has to do with just market economics, right? As they ramp up the hardware, when they didn't go in and get like upfront deals on what the memory cost would be and the storage cost would be, like Sony and Nintendo have, they are hitting some major like headaches as far as the costs for each Xbox sold. So there's this like things like that. Some of the games they expected to do better than they did from last year. So Outer Worlds didn't do that well. Avowed didn't do that well, etc. And then of course they had the massive failure of Black Ops 7, which was multifaceted. First, the skins thing they did in Black Ops 6, saying that they were going to make them transition to 7, and then said, no, we're not going to do that. Just lied to you. Sorry. And that pissed off a lot of players. So it stopped the microtransaction thing a bit. It's a kind of brought that down. And then 7 itself was not a great entry for Call of Duty. So that will also, fell a bit. It also had good competition with other games coming out that did pretty well. So a little bit of a down year, and hopefully that spins back up a bit. Like, and they get some growth from Modern Warfare and other games coming out this year that hopefully do better. We'll see how that goes. But the hardware thing is still concerning, and that's across the board. So that's going to hit all of them as the costs just keep escalating. But so that's something they'll have to just figure out. I don't know what the hell they're really going to do there. But that was what some of the things that challenges are, and so they're looking at how do we cut costs. Part of it also is, look, you have a regime change, and she will bring in people she trusts. She's already brought in several. There's going to be more changes along those lines. I'm fully expecting that to happen. So we will see how that changes things, and how some people will go, some people have different mindsets, and how they're going to change to the new stuff that she wants to do. So we'll see some changes there. There are rumors of numbers of 1,000 people being. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. Right? There's also rumors of a studio closure. Again, I don't know. Right? It's possible. We will see what happens there. But as far as like the spinning off, this is the furthest rumor. It's like somebody else has put this out there. I would never take something like this off the table, because some of the things people complain about, they don't do crunch because that's a Microsoft mandate. Well, if they're their own company, they don't have that mandate. So they can do it. Now, is that a good thing? I don't think it is, but in the gaming world, this is kind of the way things go. I mean, Corkenstein, you've done it, and it was a terrible experience, but it is what it is, right? It's just kind of the world that gaming is in, and maybe that's something they'll have more flexibility with if they go, on their own. The entire developer, compensation package is so dramatically different than the office worker, because of the way it's incentived to get your game out and have it sell well. That whole structure it's tough to say it works well within a Microsoft standard package. So it's easier to just say you're your own thing. Go figure out your own packages. It doesn't matter. You don't have to use the Microsoft standard. Do your own, right? Figure out your own benefits. We don't care. You're on your own. Now, again, they're not fully independent. They're fully owned by Microsoft, wholly owned by Microsoft. So they are still Microsoft, but they get to kind of decide their own stuff. Microsoft plays a board role, not a management role, right? So it won't be Satya and Amy saying, thou shalt. They'll be saying, this is what we think you should do. Go make it happen, or I will fire your, the CEO, because at the board level, that's what you get to do, right? And say, no, I want somebody that will do the stuff we like as the board, right? That's kind of how it would go. And so there's more flexibility to not take the red tape of Microsoft into that company, if that helps them. That can make it more agile. So it's up to them if that is a valuable thing. Right now, they're not really looking at that. They're saying, let's fix it the way it should be. We'll just fix it, right? And I think, like most people, will see what Asha's tenure does. And I think that if Asha can't turn it around within a few years, 3-4 years, then those kind of things start to become more relevant. And so like, how do we like go to the next step? Now, the idea of selling them, who would buy them? Like their value is going to be something ridiculous, right? Just think of ABK itself. They bought for 70. Real value is probably 90 to 100. Okay. And then you have Bethesda, and then you have Xbox. Package that up, you're looking at what, 130, 40 billion dollars. Who's buying them? I mean, just to put that in perspective, that's almost the value of Sony altogether. Who's buying them? That's a vast amount of money. So yes, there are potential people out there that might, but that's a huge gamble. And you'd have to have enough reason to say, I'm going to go into this knowing I could run it better than Microsoft. I don't know that there's a lot of people out there. Now, maybe there's some people chomping at the bit that are $1 trillion companies that want to do this. But so far, those $1 trillion companies haven't really made major changes to go in that direction. Amazon did a little nibbling, and it's like, we're slowing down here. And then Google tried with Stadia, and we're done. We're out. We're not doing this. Like, I don't see the company that says, Apple, maybe they decide to finally, do something now that they're changing their CEO. Who else? When you think Nvidia's up there saying, yes, let me go buy. No, they don't care. They're making trillions by selling the hardware. What's the value to them to go buy this whole thing? I just don't know where that comes in. Could there be an investment partner? Possible. But who? Like that's the thing that I just don't get. Like the idea that this is too big. It's just not viable. Like who's going to buy them and want to run this? It's not an easy thing to do, right? So I don't know that there would be another place that it could go. Not to mention, it's tied to Windows. Like that's a big deal. So who's doing that work then? Who's making DirectX?
Yeah.
Who's continuing the gaming path for Windows, which is the biggest gaming platform? What do we do? Like where does that go? So I don't see it being realistic. I can see them being wholly owned to give them some autonomy to get things working. I can see that. Totally can see that. Beyond that, I just don't. I don't know who buys them. They'd have to split it up.
Yep.
Like I don't know how else you could do it. Like the idea of Elon Musk. No. Like where would he get the time to go run this? And what would be the value? Oh, I want to get into gaming. I want to make a game. Okay, cool. You want to buy this whole platform? Yikes. I don't know, man. But from my perspective, doing the split out to just say we're wholly owned, but at least we don't have all the mandates of corporate. Cool. That could be valuable. That could actually be useful because then they could also say we're not headquartered in Redmond. We're moving to somewhere else. Right. And that could give them more flexibility. So I'm just saying there are plenty of potentials here that could potentially be useful. There are pros and cons to all of it. There's also, if it's structured correctly, it would also mean that the money that's available from Microsoft isn't as easily going to flow into Xbox. So if you wanted to go spend 40 billion buying something, well, that would be a 40 billion, investment package from Microsoft into your company, which then you have to pay back. Right. So then, they'll have to figure all that out. So there's pluses and minuses. Right now, they could spend $70 billion because it's just Microsoft money. Right. And they can just say, oh, well, Microsoft bought this. That doesn't matter because we're all part of Microsoft. But that might change a little if it's wholly owned. It could still be Microsoft buys it and then says, we're merging you into. Right. That's a whole other thing. Like, so there are weird ways you get, but anyway, that's a whole other thing that they would have to work through. But right now, I think they're going to stay the way they are. I think they're going to keep trying to fix this and then see if they can get to a better spot. A lot of this is also transitory, right? But we're in this weird AI bubble thing where everything's ultra ridiculously expensive. Hopefully that slows down over time. Hopefully there's a lot of fabs being built all around the world to try to get back to a normal price level for a lot of these things. So we hopefully will get there in the next couple of years, and that should bring the price pressure down a bit. But yeah, that is not going to help any of these companies right now that are making these systems. You still haven't seen the price for a Steam machine, and there's a reason, because it's going to cost a lot of money,
Yep.
and people are not going to be happy with that price when they see that sticker shock of how much it's going to cost. It's just the way it is. And when Helix is going to be launching, and it's going to have more memory and it's going to have more storage, and you're like, dude, that thing's going to cost an arm and a leg. Forget about the silicon. People keep thinking the silicon's the cost. No, this stupid memory prices are just ridiculous right now. I don't know how they can sustain it if they're going to come out with that, and it's not going to be less than $1,000. I don't know what they do. It's going to be very, very hard when the Steam Deck is $950. The Steam Deck is $950. The Steam Deck, like, crazy. Like, that's how bad things are. I don't know, man. Like, it's so, as far as the spin-off thing, there's potential pros, there's a few cons. But I think it could be an interesting thing as far as taking away the red tape. But I don't think they do it anytime soon.
Yeah. There you go.
Those are my thoughts.
And thank you for them. Chris, let's go to you. Get your thoughts on this. I do have another part of the article for the next 100 days, but we don't necessarily get all into that tonight. But definitely what we've been talking about, your thoughts.
As for the business side, I'm not super business savvy when it comes to all this stuff, so I don't have too many opinions. I do know that there are many different companies within different industries, that you have the big corporation, and then you have the little companies that all spin off and become subsidiaries of that stuff. We have, for a recent example, we have a company called TKO Group that owns UFC and WWE. They're both subsidiaries with the big corporate conglomeration over that kind of owns both of them, but they kind of operate within their own thing. So if that does help Xbox, by all means, whatever is the best solution to help the platform and keep it going. But I'm not the most business inclined person, so I kind of pretty much, the way Hargeet explained it, kind of agree with what he said.
There you go. And I actually agree with Hargeet a lot. so there you go. Cork, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Hargeet knocked it out of the park. A lot of this stuff I was going to say as well is, it's not a bad thing. I got a few DMs and stuff. It's like, oh, Xbox is selling. And I was like, that's not what this is. Like I mentioned in the chat earlier before we brought it up, is Sony did this 10 years ago. And it's worked out well for them. You're not being, Xbox wouldn't be beholden to Microsoft standards. And a lot of people, we've talked about this numerous times, that a lot of people give Xbox the flack that they do, and the Xbox tax that they do is because of their ties to Microsoft. So while sure, this would be something that is a subsidiary of Microsoft, it wouldn't be fully owned and under Xbox or fully under Microsoft like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be a good thing, at least for that separation of, sure, you're still there, but you're technically also not this Microsoft company that's held to their standards and under their operating, their MO and stuff like that, and what they do and how they want to run the business. And your, like Hargeet said, your margins and your benefits and how you hire and what you do and stuff like that, that's all going to be at the Xbox level, which I think is a good move for them if they ever do. As far as selling, yeah, there's nobody. Apple was probably the only one I could think that would probably buy it. They're the only ones that really haven't dabbled into that gaming full blast, like into like a gaming console. Like you say Google tried it and they're like, Amazon tried it and they pulled back significantly.
True.
So I don't know, I can't see anybody other than Apple that would try and do it. Maybe Netflix. They do have a little bit of a platform, but I think that would be I think they would probably just buy the IPs and then just sell off the hardware aspect and everything of it to somewhere else. They would just pretty much buy the IPs. That's what anybody would probably do if they ever went. They would want just the IPs, and those alone are probably going to be the most expensive part of the deal. This isn't a bad thing. This would actually give Xbox a lot more autonomy on how they want to run their stuff and what they want to do, and the cadence they want to set with their release schedules and how they want to do stuff. It's definitely a good thing. as far as I don't know, were we going to talk about the layoffs? I don't know if that was something or the rumor or something like that. I know you brought it up, Hargeet, but I didn't know if that was going to be a thing. But
you can,
I mean, you know,
rumor.
I don't doubt it probably is going to happen. You know, like I mentioned earlier on the other podcasts, you know, when you start taking away consumer bases and revenue sources, that operating profit shrinks, which means your operating costs go up. And the first thing any company or megacorp does when they want to cut operating costs is they get rid of employees. So that's usually the first thing that always ends up going. So, you know, this is the cost of exclusivity. You know, the one thing I am happy about is I think Matthew Ball did say that they understand they're going to take losses. So I hope he was referencing that. Sure, that means these companies, you know, these studios that maybe we're going to make exclusives, we're going to back them up and support them and not gut them right away if this doesn't sell as well as we thought it would be. You know, I'm hoping that's the case. But most megacorps, they would pretty much, they would just start gutting. Fuzzy says rather see studios go independent instead of closure. That's also another thing that I've, you know, go the way of Toys for Bob. That's another rumor I've heard is that things like Double Fine and Compulsion would be given an option to buy themselves out and become independent again. That's something I hope is the alternative. But most megacorps usually just hit the easy button and just start shutting things down or easy button, I guess you could say. It's a lot easier to just start firing and closing stuff down than to work out deals and buying and selling and all of that stuff. So, I don't know. I don't really see this as a negative. And yeah, we're not at that point where I don't think Xbox has to sell or Microsoft feels the need to sell Xbox. They are, like Hargeet said, sure, their margins aren't where they're at, but they're still profitable. That's the thing. And, you know, it's not the exclusivity, it's the cost of failing business. Multiplat is what actually kept them at that 3%. That's what people forget. It's not the multiplat that killed the business. It's the rising cost of hardware. It's the rising cost of, you know, of making that stuff. We already saw, she even said it in the 100 days, it's 5 times the price that it was. It's them pulling back on their hardware too early because they wanted to invest in mobile and cloud, which never really took off, for at least the mobile part due to Apple and Google and all that messiness. That never took off, and that's wasted a ton of money. Same thing with trying to get cloud in there, which was still in its infancy stage, and still, you know, even though they do have it out of that alpha stage or that beta stage, cloud gaming is still pretty new and not a lot of people have bought into it. So that was another ton of money that you wasted into that. It has nothing to do with multiplat. It's all of the other external stuff that was kind of set up to move the business in a different direction from a hardware perspective that failed the company. Multiplat was a way to offset those costs to help with that movement. And that's probably the only reason why they kept at that 3% margin. It would have probably been lower without it. So yeah, that's kind of a little offside topic rant, but yeah, this subsidiarity thing, I think it would be a good thing for them in the end.
There you go. And somebody did mention the first $1 trillion man in the world is Elon Musk as of last week. Congratulations to him. And simply said, you know what, he really likes Diablo. Maybe he could just buy himself a whole, you know, personalized Diablo server. Anyway.
I think Negan in the chat said he would make himself a boss, like a final boss in the game or something like that if he did.
Hilarious.
Lotus gifts 5 and then 10 WebDave memberships.
Thank you, Lotus. Thank you so much. Your generosity tonight has been crazy and we appreciate it. It does mean a lot to us. So thank you so much. And just if you're interested in getting one for yourself, they're only $1. That's all it costs. Just $1 to get your own subscription, which gives you access to all the emojis in the chat. So we do appreciate that. But that's why I brought it down to $1 to make it affordable and fun, and you still have a good time. Go ahead, Hargeet.
Sega by Xbox. You know, Rick James said cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yeah, exactly. Sega's like worth is like $2 or $3 billion total. They're not buying Xbox. I don't know where you guys get that idea. FARK QUE gifts 10 WebDave memberships.
Thank you,
To
FARK
give you
QUE.
an example of what this is like, right? So the showcase just happened. We had FanFest. So when we did the community one, we had they told us in April, we had a couple of months to do the whole bloody thing, right? Everything, planning it out, sending emails, all that stuff. We had to get all the registrations. It took them forever to get, the media people got their invites 1 to 2 weeks before the show was actually coming on. And the reason is because they have to follow all the legalese of Microsoft. They have to go through all the process that they have before they can do anything. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Because if they weren't under that, they could take advice from them, but they're not beholden to any of it. They could just go do whatever the hell they want to, and they could just make the decisions and go, right? That's just one of the many things that and just think of that's just one stupid little thing, right? Everything they do has to go through that. Everything. The legalese of Microsoft, all the the red tape, the bureaucracy that they have, any decisions they make have to go through all that rigmarole, right? And it's well, if you just take that and strip it out and just say, Asha, are you good? Done. Right? That's it. That's all you immediately just changes the dynamic, right? And that's what they kind of need to get. So there are some advantages. Just saying that's just one minor example of what I'm talking about. Sarif's a lot, $2. Sega should buy Xbox and take on Sony again. It'd be the other way around. In fact, wouldn't it be interesting if Microsoft buys Sega and says, in most of the world, we're not going to call it Xbox, we're going to call it Sega.
Oh shit, that would be awesome. Maybe the Dreamcast too.
Yes, call it the Sega Dreamcast 2. Let's see what DCG says about that. I'm sure he'd love it.
Dreamcast 2.0. Yeah, I wish Sega would sue him, but just saying.
Why not?
Because he soils the name of Dreamcast with his idiocy. But anyway,
it was running Windows before. It's going to be running Windows again, right? So
exactly.
Saying.
Exactly. All right, guys, thank you all so much for being here. We still have almost 300 people here watching us live on X and on YouTube. We greatly appreciate you. We're going to go around the horn. We have such an amazing panel. There was a couple of topics we didn't get to, but holy shit, such a great packed week. And of course, we'll be at it again next week. Hargeet, again, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I know you're tired. You had a long week ahead of you, and you still made it here to this show tonight. And that means more than you will ever know. So I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. So let's go around the horn and start with in the top corner. We have the one, the only Corkenstein. What's up, my friend? What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Good, bud. Yeah, big thank you again. Awesome panel, Chris. Like I said, we got to double up on podcasts, and it was great to podcast with you, dude. You're a solid guy. We got to hang out and everything. Same thing with you. WebDave and I got to sit next to each other and geek out at SGF, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Big thanks to also Hargeet as well for everything he does. And like I said, you don't get half the credit that you should for how much you do for the community as well. So you deserve definitely a lot more. And I appreciate everything all three of you beautiful gentlemen do for the community and talk with us and even how you've accepted and treated me as a fellow community member. So thank you guys. Right now, you guys can follow me on and all my horrible takes on Twitter at the Corkenstein. I'm also on Blue Sky under the same name. My gamer tag is just Corkenstein, but shoot me an ad there if you want. And then our Xbox. We just started doing previews because I was able to get into play days this year. So I did Way to the Woods. I have that already live. Very cute little game made by a solo developer. Check out that preview on our Xbox. I also have previews coming up for Sea of Remnants. And I was able to sit down and play Galactic Racers, Star Wars Galactic Racers. That's all I can say. But I will have a preview for that coming up pretty soon. And then, as far as the Corkenstein Gaming YouTube channel, I'm still working. I have a podcast idea that I want to do that's going to take it just to about games. Let's just say, Hargeet, you played Final Fantasy. Chris, you played Final Fantasy. WebDave, you played Final Fantasy. Let's come and talk about Final Fantasy. And we'll talk about the history. We'll talk about the new game if we played it, things like that. And it's not going to be about the news. It's cool if you guys want to talk about news industry. That's all fine. But me, I've always been one about the games. Being a former developer myself, I think that's what we're all here for. And that's the kind of podcast and mentality I want to go into when creating a podcast. So be on the lookout for that. That's hopefully going to happen once I get all of this preview stuff situated I can start working on that in the next couple of weeks.
Exactly. And at the moment, the information for these wonderful gentlemen is not in the description. I'm going to add that here in just a few minutes. I dropped the ball again on something else. Sorry. I was really working hard on the new intro. So, but it's up now. I promise you I will update it. And then when the audio version goes live here in about another 30 minutes, then it will also have all their information as well, too. Links to their shows and where you can find them, and of course, websites and stuff that everybody covers. Chris, please tell everybody. I saw FARQ's comment. Chris is a good dude. You are a good dude, my friend. So please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and all the good things you got coming up.
First off, I want to thank, obviously, WebDave for inviting me on. I was supposed to be on 2 weeks ago for the prediction show, but I was sick, like I was, representing the day one guys, and I didn't want to get anybody sick at the event. So I want to make sure I was back to normal. But shout out to WebDave for, allowing me to stay in the hotel room with him. Shout out to Hargeet for directing me to WebDave. Like Cork mentioned, Hargeet does a lot of stuff that he doesn't get credit for, really behind the scenes. Hargeet is one of the best people around. So shout out to Hargeet, and obviously Cork, playing taxi, man, helping out a lot of people. Cork, Wagersman, and Mo, once again, for picking everybody from the airport. As for me, I'm everywhere. You can find me community managing lordsofgaming.net, controlling all the socials. I don't really have any specific articles or stuff planned. I'm kind of, laying out what I'm going to do for like the second half of the year. I do have the big community article coming up towards the end of the year, which I will be sending these lovely gentlemen out a message about that when the time comes for that. I plan to review Echo's Vinecrad Sword Art Online when time comes for that in July, as well as waiting for any potential news for the next week in the game, Starleap. I'm talking to you, Konami. If you're watching WebDave's show, message me. I'm waiting. But lordsofgaming.net, we got lots of great writers. Iron Lords podcast on YouTube, Lords of Gaming Net on YouTube. I almost forgot. I got a real unique interview I'm getting ready to undertake with there's people creating the world of Sword Art Online in VR chat. And it's going to be the first interview for the website, or that I have seen in this gaming space, done completely in VR chat inside their world. So that will be really interesting. Looking forward to that. So shout out to Argus VRC for running that. Twitter, CUnit123123, Threads, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Fuse, which has a new name for it, I can't remember, Mastodon, Facebook, Discord, Twitch, Chris Jones Gaming Network on YouTube. I'm everywhere. It's Chris Jones, Lord Chris. You'll find me somewhere. And once again, Dave, appreciate you. And Hargeet, thank you so much for everything you do for the community, as well as any guidance you've offered me in the past. These events are very important for multiple reasons. And obviously, we go there for the games. We all love games. We're gamers at heart. But Lemon mentioned something to me that I never really realized, and I kind of thought about the show, that I'm really silent a lot of the times when I go to these events. And I kind of sat around after the show. It was a 4-hour show last night, but I sat around after the show and I was kind of taking everything in, and I thought about it. And like, I agree. Like, we all go for the games, and like, obviously Cork's indie date up, and, I also have some NDAs and stuff I can't talk about either, but to be able to go to these events and stand in a surrounding with people like Colt, like Hargeet, WebDave, Corkenstein, Paris, Wagersman. I mentioned it last night that I'm always my own biggest critic when it comes to whatever, whether it's writing, gaming, content, whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. And to be in a situation like Summer Games Fest or an LA trip where we're with like-minded peers that share our love for something is very important to this community, and it's why this community thrives so well. I went to Play Days, and Cleef Adams is a very prominent figure within the community, and he's like, man, I see this guy everywhere. And he's not talking about COG. We know COG is everywhere. Japan, California, wherever COG goes, COG's Mr. 24/7, kind of like Boomstick. He's not talking about King David. We know he's everywhere. Addict, also one of the hardest working people that doesn't get enough credit. But he's talking about me and people like Khalif being able to notice the content or the effort I put in, and then having lunch with Paris, sitting down with Paris, talking about different industry insights, and Ty Guy, Travis, Destin, just everybody that participates in this gaming industry that I've had the privilege of talking to has always been a wonderful individual to me. I've not had any bad experiences yet. Could happen. Hasn't happened yet. So I just want to say shout out to everybody that takes part in this gaming industry and helps make it what it is. And once again, thanks, Dave. Hopefully I'd come back in the future.
Oh, yes. You'll definitely be invited back, my friend. For sure. We did have a super chat or two.
Yeah, I think there's only the one, right? I mean,
that one. Yeah, there we go.
Sega, yeah, that's the one. Apollo Cooper, $2. Good show, man. Xbox future is looking bright, 100%. All right.
It is. It is. My man, Hargeet Chani, dude.
And Sir Rips a lot. Hargeet, get me into FanFest next year. Actually, reach out next year. We'll see what we can do, right? But like, we'll figure it out when we start figuring these things out for next year.
There you go. There you go. Hargeet, I went ahead and put up your YouTube channel in the corner. People want to, they can pull up right now and go and click on that and get that on your phone. Make sure you like and subscribe. What's that video count up to? Pretty high, right?
Yeah, it's like a 94 or 5. Like it's ridiculous. Like and a couple of the Persona ones did really well too. Yeah, it's at 95k now.
Yeah, 95,000.
Yeah, 95,000 views. Yeah, in 7 days. And that beats the 92 over the years that I've had for the original reveal of E-Day. For that crowd reaction. So yeah, check out my channel if you want to see all the crowd reactions. I took some of those. I did a video too of some of the games. I think Hello was one of the ones that caught my eye, but there were a lot of games and a lot of the showcases. The places where we got to play things and check them out. But yeah, some good stuff there. But yeah, I'm now back to regular. I missed everything this week because I was out and working in LA, so I was three hours behind. We got another one from Soil Tech. Mo, how's it going, buddy? $2. Chris rocks.
He does. Thank you, Mo. Appreciate you.
So yeah, I'll be on with Fonz on Tuesday, with Boom on Wednesday, See Money and Doodle on Friday, barring any changes in other people's schedules. So check those out, and then we'll be back next Sunday and see what else is going on in the gaming world, which seems to just have news all the time now.
It does, and we will cover it. That is for sure.
Yes.
That is for sure. Oh, wow. Great show, as always. I know we went a little long tonight, but so much to talk about. So much good stuff. So much misconceptions we have to clear up as well, too. So it's always kind of fun.
And we should shout out Cork, who organizes our rides, and then Mo and Alex came, that's Wagerman, came in to help out as well. And we were shuttling it everywhere with these folks and saving a lot of Uber dollars because we're going all around the place. Thanks for doing that, Cork. That really is very helpful. And
another big shout out to
Mo and Alex.
Another big shout out to Ben Kenobi.
Yeah, and another big shout out. Ben Kenobi, for those who don't know, he him and I and a couple of other people put together the Community Fan Fest, and Ben has been working in the background with Microsoft this whole time to try to get us back, and that's how we were able to do that. And so him and I put together the whole package of getting all those registrations out to everybody, and and the graciousness of Microsoft to actually allow that, to bring us back. That was a fantastic thing. But yeah, shout out to Ben. He's been doing a lot of that work in the background as well.
Yep, amazing. And Hargeet, I'm sure you've gotten the email from Microsoft that the next few days we'll get our information about where to submit for our system, which will be nice.
Yeah.
But in that too, there's also, and I'm hopefully you guys read through
3 months Game Pass.
3 months of Game Pass is included in that email, and also the link, which I'm so glad he did this because I missed it at the show. It was there at the show itself, but they've got it now where you can actually put in your gaming tag, and then you actually you will get a special badge on your account that says that you were there at this year's Fan Fest. So excited for that.
Yes.
So anyway, lots of good things. I'm not trying to be braggadocious. Please don't take it that way at all. But I mean, a lot of us have worked hard to get where we're at, and we appreciate it. We couldn't be here without you. So thank you all so much for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, everything you guys do for the channel. It means a lot. And thank you so much. Gifted memberships, everything y'all do is greatly appreciated. And we'll be back next week on the one and only The Gamers Council. See you guys next week. Bye.
Game over.
Video, please hit the like button.